not one to kind of, see, sometimes when
Why?
I see when you say it, because I feel like
So-
you're bragging and boasting, saying,
Why?
look at me, my figures are up.
Why would
What
you
be
think
about
that?
me?
No.
What's about the show? It's about Highland. But
That's
do you know
nonsense, and I would like to use the word.
what word? Wait, oh, you can't say that word in the
No.
radio. I'm glad you pulled
What are
down
you
the
on
microphone.
about? You have to say thank you to the people
No, but thanks-
who
yes, of
loyally
course.
listen to you.
Yeah, but sometimes-
And then new audiences. What this self-deprecating stuff does
I
my
don't
head
know.
in. You know,
See,
it's not. You're not boasting. You're just saying thanks and welcome, and it's
yes,
so
and
much
I have
appreciated.
like 10,000 more listeners and stuff.
But it's not 10, is it?
Yes, more. This? All them all up.
See, now you're just talking nonsense.
No, I'm talking.
But you'll notice-
Pull down the fader. I'm talking, but
No, there's. You'll notice there's just not quite as many posts on social media from radio stations because a lot of the radio stations took a wee bit of a hit.
did they? We're doing good up here.
All right, yeah.
We're doing
not so
brilliant.
bad,
Yeah. okay.
All right, Leo.
Have a
Take
good
care. Have
show.
a great weekend.
See you
Enjoy
Monday.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you won't actually,
Why?
because I'm off Monday.
Are you? Mm-hmm. What's on? Tell us.
I have just an appointment.
All right.
Yeah.
See, when you say appointment, then everybody stands back.
I know.
Do you know that? All right. But see, it could be. Oh.
I don't want to.
No, I don't want to go any deeper. Oh, that's fine. See you Tuesday. Love you. Bye.
It's
you
not-
know.
No, it's not that type of appointment.
No, it's okay.
All right, I have an appointment with the sun.
Appointment with the sun.
Yeah, I want to be outside.
At the boat?
And I no, because I was due to take another day. Ashleen's texted me just now. You off Monday? What appointment?
Oh.
Yes, I'm off Monday. I don't have an appointment.
Right. Oh God. See what you started. See, don't do small talk with me, right, Galar?
Yeah, the divorce courts. All right, then. Take care of yourself. Right, our Friday panel's going to join us very shortly. Really looking forward to that. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. But first, let's get a news update at 9:01, and it's over to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. The Doha Famine Village is set to reopen on Wednesday following an extensive fire at the start of this month. The blaze, started by an equipment at a display, engulfed 2/3 of the tourist attraction. A spokesperson says they're proud to welcome back visitors with guided tours running daily. They also thanked the public for their support. Over €106,000 was raised on a GoFundMe page in the wake of the fire. The need for action to address speeding in Fawn has been raised in the Shannon. Senator Manus Boyle called for the Minister for Transport to make the village a priority under the low-cost accident scheme. He outlined the requirement for additional signage and a pedestrian crossing due to the volume and speed of traffic passing through Fawn daily. Senator Boyle told Minister Jerry Buttimer that the close proximity to the border needs to be taken into consideration also.
As you know, it's on the peninsula and it's very close to Derry, and there's a lot of traffic up there, going and coming, especially at the weekends. There are a lot of holiday homes up on the peninsula. So anything that we could do to help the situation, that would be greatly appreciated, because the last thing we wanted to have is an accident.
I would hope that we can work with Donegal County Council to ensure that we can prioritise investment on our regional and local roads, and in particular in the Fahan area here, as you said.
Hamas says it's ready to hand over all Israeli prisoners immediately if humanitarian aid is restored to Gaza. It's emerged the group is now holding direct talks with US officials about restoring peace. Over 50 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes in Gaza yesterday. Hamas spokesperson Bassem Naim outlined some of the issues raised in the talks with the US.
One-shot prisoner exchange, ending the war, total withdrawal of the Israeli forces, allowing all the aid to get into Gaza, and rebuilding of Gaza Strip without forceful immigration, through the mediators and directly through some persons in the US administrations.
The preparation of a town centre first plan for Glenties is progressing. The plan will focus on strengthening the role, image, vibrancy and vitality of the area. Michaela Clark has more.
The process to roll out a town centre first plan for Glenties has commenced. Donegal County Council's Director of Community Development and Planning Services, Liam Ward, says the plan will assist and support the local community in the renewal and regeneration of the town in a sustainable manner, and will greatly enhance the special significance of the town and its offering in the long term. A public consultation will open on Thursday, May the 22nd, with a drop-in event at the Market Hall, Main Street, Glenties from 3:30 to 7:30pm. The council says the public's thoughts, ideas and aspirations for the town are essential. The public consultation period will close on Friday, June the 6th at 4pm.
Looking out to weather, dry with plenty of sunshine today and just light easterly or variable breezes. Highest temperatures of 19 to 22 degrees. That's all for now from the news desk, back at 10 o'clock.
Celebrate summer this week at Centra with our summer sizzler offers. Like selected barbecue meats, any 3 for €10. Centra selected berries and grapes, 2 for €5.50. And selected ice cream, like Magnum Mini 3 packs, any 2 for €6. Centra. Live every day.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning to you. You're very welcome along to the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio, and it is Friday's 9 till noon show. And coming up in the next hour, we have our Friday panel. I'll introduce them to you in a moment, but I just want to invite you to be involved in the conversation. If you want to WhatsApp or text, it's 08660 25000. If you prefer to give us a call, it's 07491 25000. And if you want to email, it's comments@highlandradio.com. We'll introduce your comments throughout the course of the hour as they come in. Right, let's say good morning, because it's a blended situation, which is all very modern, isn't it? In studio, I have Nicholas Crossan. Good morning, Nicholas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Greg.
How are
Good
you
morning,
keeping?
listener. Oh, the very best,
You're
thank
looking
God.
very well. Time
Thank
away
you.
from the council doing you no harm. It's good to have you with us. We also have Lorraine Thompson, Regional Director of Donegal Youth Services. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Greg. Good morning.
Feels like an age since I spoke to you last. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been so long.
Of course. And last but not least, Emer McGuinness, Manager of Donegal Mod, and dare I say, social media influencer. I'm going to just chuck that in right now, Emer. I'm updating you.
You're very funny, Greg. Yes.
Hopefully
Good
you
morning.
can scrape enough coins together for broadband. How long are you going to be doing this to me for, Emer?
What?
Your broadband, has it improved at all? Or maybe you have good broadband now, do you?
Well, do you know, last night we had no telly whatsoever here. It's all gone off. So I'm lucky I have anything at all.
All
this
right,
morning.
so we'll keep our fingers crossed. I'm not saying there's a lot of lag on the line, but the clock behind you says 8 to 9. But we'll listen. We will be okay. No, I'm joking.
But that's wrong. You're reading it backwards. It's 10 past.
Okay. Right, just reading in the front of the Irish Independent today, a borrowing surge by consumers for cars, home improvements and holidays has raised questions given the risk of a global downturn. Households have gone on a record-breaking borrowing spree with 2.5 billion taken out in personal loans last year. It's the highest personal loan activity, since the bank started recording personal borrowing levels in 2020. As I mentioned, this is as it's generally anticipated that the economy will slow down globally. I'll start with you, Emer. Are we just living our best lives, or are we setting ourselves up for a fall again like we saw at the end of the 08, 09 and into the 10s?
Oh, look, we possibly are, yeah. But like everything can cost so much more now. You know, I spent last Sunday, we came back from holidays, and I spent the whole Sunday sitting in a meeting at Athlone talking to the PSRA with regards to marts and what they were going to do. Basically, they were saying that the marts are the banks, because farmers cannot get stocking loans from banks.
Right.
So it seems to be just a mess across the whole, you know. I don't know. Yes, I do think we are heading for everything has just doubled. So you see your shop and you see anything you go to buy has doubled and tripled in price. Where will it end? God knows, but I don't know. Probably, yeah. There's no answer.
Exactly. In relation to dairy, you know, milk, butter, meat, a lot of the price increases are being attributed to, you know, the increased cost of the source material, i.e. meat and milk. Is there a sense that that's trickling down to farmers? I mean, some of the highest beef prices we've seen for quite some time are being given at the marts. Is it a good time for farmers?
It possibly is, but then that is a knock-on effect because the people that's buying the stock have to pay these prices for them. I always would have said, and I've been saying it to the factories for years, we have a lamb producer group, and you know, with regards to sheep and lamb prices, if they just give a good price to the farmer the whole year round, and that the farmer could aim to produce something within that price range, it would be a lot better than this thing of fluctuating really high and, you know, disappearing again. But look, yes, it's a good time for farmers, but the costs of going to vets, everything else has increased, your electricity, your water, everything. So they probably need that for all the losses they would have suffered over the last few years. So would I say that, you know, they've suddenly become rich? No, they're probably just making up for losses they would have previously had.
Yeah, but the only advantage is that they're actually just
But, you know, you're chatting about the butter and the dairy and everything else. That has been the organisations, the farm organisations qualm for so long. It's not actually all going to the farmer, it goes to the retailers and everybody before the farmer. So, and that was always our price with the beef industry, or our problem with the beef industry. You know, the factories were getting it, the retailers were getting it, but it was not going back to the farmers.
All right, Nicholas Crossan, you know, I see the ratio of you know, the percentage you can borrow for a mortgage now, you know, it's edging back towards 100. I think there might actually be some 100% mortgages in the market. You know, people are borrowing extensively, 2.5 billion in personal loans last year, green loans in inverted commas for home improvements, presumably, but also, you know, buying cars, which is great for the car industry as well. I just wonder, are we walking ourselves, though, into another massive recession, or a recession of any sort, particularly as we don't know, you know, the impact necessarily of sanctions, for an example?
I'd agree with what you're saying, Greg, on it. I would like to see if the borrowing was solely for houses and cars and various stuff, or was it coming out of savings? There's an awful lot of money coming out of the banks and savings as well, which would be good for the economy. But as Emer was saying, the price of everything has gone up. The price of houses has gone way through the roof, and the banks are willing to lend money again. And I thought it would take a little bit longer for the recovery to come round, and saying that people would be more cautious in their borrowing. But it seems to be that in a short few years, from the early 2000s, right to now, that the price of property has gone and people are willing to pay big money for houses and willing to borrow on it. I know that the industry at the moment in Ireland, the employment is, as they're saying, it running at 100% or very, very close to it, which is great for the economy and is great. But at the same time, I would be very cautious on over borrowing, and I wouldn't like to see the banks going to 100% again.
Yeah, what's your views on all of this, Lorraine Thompson?
I'm kind of shocked, to be honest. I didn't realise. Obviously, I'm just flicking through the article now that you have referred to there. I think for me, it comes down to people's appetite for risk, obviously, in households. The recession is probably quite fresh in a lot of people's minds. But at the same time, people have to live their lives. Coming out of a global pandemic, the global instability in the world at the minute, you know, people, I would imagine, are saying, we have to get on with our lives. We only have one. We have to make the best of it. If we have access to money for holidays, obviously that's a luxury, but the need maybe to get away and to decompress for a few weeks is very important for families. In terms of buying new houses, you know, obviously young people want to get their lives in order. They want to get their foot on the ladder of the property market. So I guess I can't blame people for going to the banks and getting whatever they can. You know, we all did it at a young age. You know, we went and took whatever we could get.
Well, that's the problem, you see. That's exactly what I did in the mid-noughties, and I was banjaxed as a result of it. And a lot of these are personal loans as well, because I know we're all just reading through it because it was only published today. A lot of these are personal loans as well, in addition to mortgages. I mean, there's obviously a section of society that's spending big, because if you are, you know, if you're on a certain income, which the majority of people in this county are, you're probably not borrowing heavy. But I think there's a sort of a mid-law heading towards the rich that are obviously splashing the cash, Lorraine. And they're the same people that had the cash, I think, during the last recession, but held on to it and didn't spend it. So I think we rely on them quite an awful lot in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're a wee bit secluded up here in Donegal. We're in the middle of our DCB crisis. You know, you can understand, you know, people having to go in for additional loans for the rebuilds. So I suppose my head's kind of going there with that. But in terms of the rest of the country, you know, maybe they don't have those same pressure points. but obviously property prices are on the huge increase. So yeah, I mean, part of me thinks fair play to them. I mean, they've obviously assessed the risk. You would imagine nobody goes in blindly taking out loans for whatever they need. You know, they have the repayments to consider, and they've obviously factored that into their budget.
Okay. I want to move on if that's okay. And something, well, all stories are local. The waiting list for a driving test in Ireland continues to grow across Donegal. End of November, before you could even expect to get an invite to book a test if you applied in Inishowen today. The situation is not much better in Letterkenny, slightly better in Donegal town. Can we realistically expect those figures to reduce? And is there a correlation with what appears to be a worsening level of driving behaviour? Nicholas, we have actually seen, one of the biggest spikes in L drivers driving unaccompanied being caught in Donegal. As I say, you're from Inishowen. This is an ongoing problem. You don't even have your own driving tester. I believe one is shared from the Letterkenny office. But it's crazy to think you apply for your test today and realistically you won't be sitting it until January 2026 if you're lucky.
Yeah. I just saying, Greg, about this time 7 years ago, I raised this point with Donegal County Council, and the waiting time in Buncrana that time was 26 weeks. Letterkenny was 12 and Donegal Town was 14 weeks. But the rest of the country was going okay, so it wasn't really a national issue, and that's what I was sorry. But I'm actually glad, in one sense, that it is now raised as a national issue, because I do believe that there has to be work done. I got Senator Victor Boyan to raise this back with the RSA, and we got the time actually come down in Buncrana to 12 weeks, and it was floating along for 12 weeks, and then I think the pandemic came in and it went askew after that. But for the government, and far be it from me to defend the government, but for the government to say, turn around and say, look, they know the population of Ireland. They know the percentage of people coming up at 17 and 18 that is going to be applying for driving licence. So they have a fair estimate how many people each year is going to apply for the licence. We haven't enough driving testers in place for that there. The Minister has assured us that he's going to look at it now, which is probably 10 years too late.
And that's Jack Chambers that said that. Yeah. And we've heard that year on year on year, and we've heard it the same with the NCTs. It could be like the Guards, though. Just because they employ another 80 driving instructors, it doesn't mean that 2 are going to get sent to Inishowen. That's the problem. That's the national answer to the question. Can we have any faith there'll be a local solution?
But there are solutions, and I do believe that, look, there's driving instructors who would be qualified. I mean, this could be as a temporary basis, take somebody on for 6 months or a year. Why can we not do tests on Saturday and Sunday? If somebody wants to do it, especially for rural Ireland and Donegal, I mean, like you know yourself, Greg, we have poor bus service around here. We have no trains. Our public transport is poor in respect of a lot of the rest of the country. And I do believe that the young people in Donegal area and throughout the whole of the rural Ireland deserve to get their driving test within it. The way that I explained it, if you applied on the 1st of January to do your test, you drove on the 1st of June at your test. If you failed it, it was Christmas before you got a retest. A year waiting on a test in this day and age is laughable, and we have to just improve on it.
Emer McGuinness, if someone close to you was looking to sit their driving test in Donegal town, you're sitting there going, am I going to get the contact this week? Am I going to get the contact? There was no driving tests in Donegal town last week and none this week. Well, there was 2 days of driving tests with a trailer, right, which is not for the majority. So you're sitting there thinking, is it going to be my turn soon? And for a fortnight, not a single test was taken in Donegal town. It's very frustrating for people who are waiting, and I think we've all been in that boat, either directly or with a 1 degree of separation. What do you think?
Well, I was listening to Diane's interview with you, and I was absolutely shocked. I can't get over it in this day and age that I would have assumed that we had a driving test or test, whatever you want to call them, in every area in Donegal. And I assumed that there was driving tests going on every day. So, yeah, it is laughable. And that's the only word you could use to describe it. And there really is no excuse why there isn't. Only the government, they're just they're not spending the money in that area, and they have to be held to account. And we should be up in arms. I was also looking at Galway Galway is a lot higher. Theirs is a lot longer than Donegal. So, I don't know. Why is nobody saying anything? I
don't know, because I think the RSA I think the government's somewhat insulated in that they can blame the RSA, and that's a little problem that we have in this country, in that they can say, well, we need to look at the RSA, we'll split it into two, one looking after the quality of vehicles, one looking after road education or what have you. There's that sort of degree of separation between the Transport Minister, I think, and this problem, which doesn't help.
But you see, it's not just, and that's what I don't understand, why there hasn't been a hoo-ha about it long before now. Nicholas said they spoke about it 7 years ago. The waiting times have grown and grown and grown in every county. Why are they not employing these people? And it's down to money again. They just haven't spent the money in employing them. As Nicholas also said, there's loads of driving instructors there that would be more than qualified to do them. They've just literally sat in their asses and done nothing about it, and it's not good enough.
Yeah, and a lot. I think reason why there isn't a hoo-ha, it's a little bit like the health crisis. People don't really care as much as perhaps they should unless they're actually sick or in that situation.
There's unless you know about it.
Exactly, and there's no union of people waiting on a driving test. So there's no organisation. It's thousands and thousands of people individually frustrated, Emer, and I think that's part of the issue. Lorraine Thompson, I find it very frustrating, and I find it really, for young people, I hope we're not losing people to Australia and Canada and Dubai because they're not prepared to sit around for a year asking mum or dad for a lift, and they feel that they can get on with their lives elsewhere. I'd hate if that was a result of all of this.
Possibly is. Greg, speaking as a mum who has a son away, he had his test though before he went, so it meant that whenever he went out there, he was able to get the jobs driving in the mine sites, which is very important. There's no doubt about it. We are losing our young people to Australia and other countries. I don't know if that's directly related to them not having their licenses, because there does seem to be a drive, excuse the pun, for those young people to get their licenses before they go. Anecdotally, we are hearing stories of people, trying to go to other test centres, trying to get on the list any way they can. I think it's hugely problematic for young people who are, trying to get jobs. I seem to have a memory back in the day that you could have put forward a reason why you needed your test kit sooner, which is, that you needed it for a job. I don't think that works anymore.
No, it's done away now. It's done away. Yeah, they can't do that anymore, Lorraine.
Yeah, and as Nicholas has said, we're a rural county. We don't have the public transport infrastructure to facilitate people in their jobs. It doesn't surprise me what you said about learner drivers being caught unaccompanied, because what else are people to do? And I know it's against the law and it's against insurance, but if you want to get on with your life and earn an income, and you need a transport mode for that, I think it's really good that this is under the spotlight. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, the wait lists. When I was reading articles on it earlier, we are nearly up to post-pandemic wait periods. It seems a very simplistic answer to say, we need more instructors. Why do we not have them? Why is there no thinking outside the box? It's certainly not cheap to get your lessons, to get your test. You would imagine that the resources are there. There's more than 83,000 people on the wait list at the minute.
Yeah, and if you factor in the challenge you might face getting on the road if you're a young person, if you factor in the fact that if you want to move out from under mum and dad's roof, the rents are the price of a mortgage, and also the fact that it's for many people getting a mortgage now seems unattainable, and because of planning, even if your dad or your mom gave you a plot of land, or your granddad, you can't build on it if you're on the N56, for an example. Maybe it's becoming a no country for young men and women, and that's part of the reason why we're seeing such a drive out of the country, which is very problematic, especially as this population ages. We can't be losing young people at this rate. It's very concerning, Nicholas.
Greg, I would just like to say on that point, there's over 80,000 people waiting. That's a revenue of 5 million. This is cost neutral to the government. It's actually a money making for them, because the people that would be going for their driving test has to go for lessons, and that's be paid to driving instructors. So it's a cost neutral effect, and I just get the driving instructors in place and get on with the job. It's ludicrous, really.
Yeah, can you imagine if we had a Minister for Transport that said that?
Well,
so that is literally the solution.
Transport in this country.
So what's the solution? Let's employ more driving testers and just get on with it. Yeah, great.
On a temporary basis.
don't we
There's
do
plenty of people out there. It would be a great job if you had nerves to sit on. Or
Emer, do you get a sense, because also in that conversation with Diane yesterday, she says that she's recognised a major increase in dangerous driving. Are you seeing that? I'm seeing undertaking and I'm seeing more instances of crazy stuff now than I ever did. People maybe always sped, or whether they should or not, but like real crazy driving. I don't know what your experience is.
You know, like, I'd be on the road. My husband was given out. I got a new car, and the mileage up on it already is scandalous. But so do be on the road a lot, and it is crazy. I was listening to her, we were laughing when we were listening, but it's not funny.
No, I know what you mean, though. It's a natural reaction.
You know, we were driving down the road there when even my husband was trying to take off after somebody. It was that what he'd done was that crazy an act. You know, he wanted to get his reg. But, you know, and I don't understand it, because now more than ever, when you are going for your driving lessons, you have to do so much more. It takes so much longer to get your license, so you're doing a lot more driving than you would have been. And then you see all the accidents, and horrific accidents at that, and you have to wonder, you know, what's wrong with people? But we all seem to be, and you know, I sometimes wonder, is it because we're all rushing? Lives have got so busy, but and people are angry. So yes, I think there's an element of that you don't have any patience, that you're in a hurry.
We've all seen that person overtake us like a madman or woman,
yeah,
and then we pull up behind them at the same junction 5
That's
minutes
right,
later,
same time,
right?
yeah.
So surely they're realizing that what they're doing is not working. It's of no benefit.
Yeah.
Nicholas, what are you seeing on the roads? Do you see worse instances?
Yes.
Because the more of that there is, we're rolling the dice, right? Because the greater the risk of a serious road traffic collision there is.
Yeah, Greg, very, very simple thing. I took my car down for the NCT on Tuesday this week.
Did it pass?
Failed, major fault.
Really? Okay.
The major fault was two bulbs refused over the number plate on the back.
Okay.
So I got those two bulbs fixed now and went back down. It was a visual inspection that was inspected and it passed, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I'm lying in my bed at night, and there's a guy driving around Buncrana with an exhaust either hanging off or no exhaust in the car. Their suspensions is cut down on them, the modified, and they're not safe, these cars on the road. But yet, I had to go and get. It was my own fault. I had to get two bulbs to put into the car to get an NCT.
They do say to make sure to check your lights.
Yes, I know that, but I checked every light except the taillights.
Yeah, but you see, this is the thing, because what frustrates me is I was going to take a car to an NCT, and it was out of the tax had just expired, and I cancelled the NCT and had to reschedule it. And the reason I was driving it. I was driving it through that third-party cover thing. It wasn't insured, right?
Yeah.
It was NCT and taxed, so I could drive it, but it wasn't taxed, so I didn't want to risk that. And at the same weekend, you've got these idiots doing donuts up around the roundabouts in Inishowen and elsewhere, right? And I'm so blooming cautious that it's cost me about 80 quid. But there's definitely a sense from some that you can drive however you like in Donegal or in this area and not get caught.
Well, there seems to be certainly. In my opinion, if somebody is driving like that, nobody sets out to have an accident. There's no doubt about that. Nobody sets out to have an accident. But if there's an accident, and God forbid somebody is killed or something like that, or the driver kills somebody, and they're saying, I didn't mean to do it. No, nobody meant to do it. But we must, and the word that has gone out of our vocabulary is responsibility. We must take responsibility for our own actions. Anybody caught driving, dangerous driving, should have. There's only one way to put them, get points or money, or put them off the road.
I mean, I have to say, we did have a case this week where a person who should have known better was driving 4 young kids to a Debs, 150 miles per hour in an 80 kilometre zone. At least 2 of the kids screaming for him to slow down. 2 beautiful young women, their lives taken away from them. 7 years.
That's
dangerous driving causing death. 7 years.
It wouldn't matter if it's 70 years for the families that's left behind.
Well, the families would have got great comfort with a greater sentence, but look at the message it sends out. Versus,
and somebody, as you say, somebody should at that age should have had a bit of sense.
Lorraine Thompson, what's your observations out and about on the road, and I suppose the conversation more generally?
Well, I live obviously very close to the Polestar roundabout. Blows my mind every day when I navigate that roundabout. How people approach it, how people get through it, how people move from one lane to another. Wondering, is it the drivers or is it actually the layout? I do think, obviously, as a rural county with such a kind of vast amount of roads that are very windy and narrow. It's always amazing to me when you meet people coming on the wrong side of the road at you. I was coming out of Burtonport earlier this week, and I was in a Porsche sandwich. There was a couple behind me and a couple in front of me, and the engines were revving to get past me. I mean, I'm quite a nippy driver myself. I thought I just needed to get out of the way. I think they were all English regs. They must have been on a Porsche day out, but they overtook me in a very unsafe part of the road. And, I was a bit shook afterwards, thinking, because I was just about to slow down to turn left, to turn off to the Letterkenny Road. And if I had have, slowed down at that point, he would have been into the back of me. That being said, I do think, we have a history in Donegal of multiple car fatalities here. We do have a lot of, as Nicholas has said, younger drivers involved. And so we are very mindful as a county of that. Obviously, we have the border and the impact of drivers coming in from a different jurisdiction and maybe not as aware of our legal requirements here, because maybe they feel that they're not going to get the brunt of that. So all of those things, I think, add to the dangerous driving that we see on the road. Plus, obviously, road rage, people in a rush, people trying to get past you. I've been that person myself. You're trying to get from A to B, and there's maybe slower drivers on the road. But it all comes down to enforcement and risk. As I said earlier in the last statement about money, it's your appetite for risk.
Yeah, well, I saw a near miss this week. Lorraine, by the sounds of it, you saw a near miss. Emer, you and your hubby saw a near miss. I don't know about you, Nicholas. So, that's 4 of us. Just random, randomly for conversation.
Yeah.
We've all seen a situation whereby it was more luck than anything else that something serious didn't happen. Okay, interesting stuff. I'm going to take a break, but just a couple of comments to take me a little closer to it. A listener says the driving test wait times in the RSA are an absolute joke. People rarely pass the test first time these days. It's around 50% actually. It depends. It can be between 48 and 60% pass rate, but on average, really half of people are failing. 10 to 12 weeks to rebook your test. You then had a choice of 3 to 5 weeks for a date from when you booked. Can you ask Mr. Crossan if the unwanted Buncrana sign will be removed soon and Buncrana gets back its Shaw Green, as a signed petition was given to him ages ago? Is that a bit of a curve?
No,
the
most
where's the controversy there?
There's about 4 people in Buncrana keeping it going. It's the most photographed thing in Buncrana's 2 summer seasons, Greg, and it's not going to be moved.
I'm not from the area, so I'm not taking sides, but it looks like a lovely photo.
I was around the beach last night and the sun was setting over Fanet, which the place were strategically placed there. There's photographs. I've yet to walk past, or somebody hasn't been taking a photograph. I think it's the greatest. There's one in every town in the world, for God's sake.
There's a small group of people that are...
Yes.
Okay. I sat my test in 2008. Were you waiting on that one?
No.
Okay.
It had died away, actually, but there's
All
two
right,
there.
okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I sat my test in 2008 in a temporary test centre that was based in the NCT Centre in Letterkenny, so they were able to do it then on a temporary basis, so why not now? Okay, I want to come back to that actually in a sec. It's a separate issue. Okay, we're going to take a break. We're in and enjoying the company of our 3 guests, Nicholas, Emer and Lorraine. More from them after we take a break.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Join us this Friday on Around the Northwest with John Breslin. Live from iMotors John Keane. Ready to order your 252 Kia or Nissan? Then get to iMotors from Thursday, May 15th to Sunday, May 18th. Explore the exciting new Nissan and Kia ranges. Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 12 to 4. Don't miss it.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Root canal care reimagined. At Blue Poppy Dental, Dr. Naveen's gentle Zen-like approach creates a calming experience. So relaxing, patients often fall asleep during treatment. Discover a new kind of dental care where comfort comes first at Blue Poppy Dental. Book now by calling Blue Poppy Letterkenny on 074 912 0355.
McCullough Jewellers in Letterkenny are synonymous with fine jewellery, quality watches and giftware. With stores at Main Street, Letterkenny and the Letterkenny Shopping Centre or online at ormccullough.com. You can choose from their quality product range in a relaxed atmosphere, and their sales staff will be happy to help you make the right choice whatever the occasion. McCullough Jewellers, making moments magical for generations.
Massive savings at Doherty Super Value Carndonagh. At our butcher's counter, fresh Irish pork loin better than half price. Irish chicken fillet portions, 550 gram, only €5. 7-Up, Club Orange and Pepsi, 3 for €4. Real rewards, real value at Doherty Super Value Carndonagh.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is
9:35. The technology is there, says the listener. I cannot understand why it's not used. Young people have a full sense of security in the car. They seem to think they are cushioned by being in that car. And a caller says, literally in the last minute, a van driver has come right through a stop sign and nearly took me out of it as I was turning right. And unfortunately, these things are happening all the time. I own 2 modified cars that pass the NCT, so not all modified cars are dangerous. But I think it's presumed that you know exactly the cars that Nicholas is talking about, those that are no longer safe because they aren't being driven to the manufacturer's specifications. It doesn't mean you can't modify a car, but if you take the springs off and hacksaw them in your own garage and bang them on, you don't know how that car's going to perform when you've got 5 people in it with you. Right. Let me see. What should we go to next? The government wants to explore banning. We won't. We've done this quite a bit in the past, but so we'll be brief enough on this. The government wants to explore banning those under 16 from social media sites. The opposition think it's kite flying and don't think it's realistic. Lorraine, do you have a view on whether or not there should be restrictions on under 16s accessing social media? Do you believe adults, though, would be prepared to offer up their IDs, which would probably be required to enable it to happen? How much do we care about young people?
Okay, so first of all, to say this is the book that a lot of it is based on. Just got a copy of it, haven't read it yet. I've scanned through it to see where is this coming from. So the book is The Anxious Generation, how the great rewiring of childhood is causing an epidemic of mental illness. So obviously that's a backdrop. We have Australia, who introduced this ban in late 2024. I believe they're still grappling with how that's going to play out. But obviously then other countries like Ireland and England and other countries around the world are looking at this with great interest. There is no doubt that there's a link between social media and mental health. And we're seeing increased anxiety levels, increased depression levels in young people. We have the data age of consent at 16. So that's the backdrop to all of this, which I think is very important to say why would we need to do this? We have our social media sites, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, all with a consent age of 13. So there's a disparity between the digital age of consent at 16 and these sites allowing young people on at 13. That being said, how would we ever get there? So first of all, we need the willingness. Government are proposing it. I can imagine all the parents who would be against it, the parents would be in favour of it. School communities, where does that sit? Because obviously we're all players and this is stakeholders.
Who would be against it, though, on the basis that they believe 13-year-olds should be on some of these sites? Like, I think a lot of parents, I would welcome it, the ban, because I could go to my child and say, well, I'm sorry, it's not my fault, it's banned. You know,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like,
And as a parent, I think it's really useful to have somebody else
yeah.
kind of coming over the shoulder to say, this is not me, this is the enforcement of blah, blah, blah. But we also know that parents want to keep their children happy, keep their teenagers happy, and give them what they want. So, yes, you asked the question, do you think parents would give kids kind of a fake ID? I
No,
think yes.
sorry, I misframed that. That possibly could happen. But the only way this could be enforced is if everyone gave their ID. Sorry, Lorraine, I should have made that clear. And I think there's lots of people, even though they might say we need to keep our kids safe online, don't want to give social media. They prefer to say anonymous on social media, for an example, or they don't believe that social media companies should have that information, and that is fine. But that is the price that would have to be paid to ensure that we were able to enforce a ban. Sorry, Lorraine, I didn't phrase that too good on the introduction. And I'm sure some would provide fake IDs, don't get me wrong.
I would imagine some would try to circumvent whatever rules are there, and I think that will happen. Yeah, I mean, there is lots of new technologies, I believe, coming on stream, so that there are like facial recognition ways of assessing the age of a person using these sites. So it may actually not involve parents giving consent. So, I mean, kind of technology is moving that quick. It's sometimes hard to keep up. It's kind of mind-blowing how quickly it moves on. And obviously it would take a certain age of a smartphone or a device to assess that. So there's all of that. But I do think that it's really interesting, just on my last point. There was a report came out this week from the UNICEF, from the UN, and it states that Irish teenagers are the least happy in the developed world. I think that's really interesting in this whole conversation.
And what has changed? You know, what's the most significant factor that's changed? It's the fact that much of their lives is lived in this digital space. I'll make the argument again. There's no way you would drop your 13-year-old off into the middle of a major shopping centre somewhere and tell them just go ahead and give pictures of yourself to other people and chat to whomever you like. You simply wouldn't do it. Yet that's precisely what's happening in the digital space. But it's very difficult for parents to regulate that. I know myself. Emer, do you think we should really start looking properly at banning under 16s from these social media sites? Some of them have extreme pornography on them, the likes of X, for an example. Or do you think we need to approach this from a different angle, as it's unforceable and a bit of kite flying?
It's a difficult one, and I think it's sad in one instance that when we grew up, you know, the mobile phones, and well, I know when I was growing up, they were only coming in when I was a teenager, you know, and to think now that we can't literally survive or have maybe a 10-minute conversation without checking our phone is sad. And it's sad to think that young ones just don't know how to survive without them. There's a good side to social media as well, and online and advertising and companies and everything else. But there's a wild pressure on parents, and I feel for parents because the children, you don't want their children excluded to be the only one left out if everyone else is on these, because then they're bullied for that reason. But my big thing would be, and we've seen it in Cavan, and I watched that again recently, that case, you know, of the child that committed suicide because they were bullied. That to me is the worst side of social media, and there's really nothing that can actually follow up on that and fix it. And
yeah, I wonder what the positives are of social media for under 16s in reality.
There's none, not for that age.
Yeah, I don't.
Absolutely.
I mean, for us, fantastic stuff to get messages out there. You know, empower people, advertise, network. But really, for under 16s, where is the positive space online? Because even if it's about staying in contact with your friends, it's all image based, and even with that, in and of itself, comes a great deal of pressure. Sorry, Lorraine, you were going to say.
I think there are positives, Emer, because I think, like, when I see the way I use social media, when you go searching for remedies, recipes,
No,
young people
16,
also do that.
16 and under, yeah.
No, they also do that.
Yeah, but I can, but like
my daughter here, and she said she learns more from TikTok than she does from school. She'll kill me for saying that on the radio, but she's just turned 17. Yes, TikTok, and I'm not really on it, has a massive information. Obviously, you have fake news. Obviously, you have to navigate it, you know, and I think young people are kind of better at doing that because they've obviously grown up with it. And I'm not taking away, Emer, all the negative stuff. It's, of course, it's all there. But it's like, how do you balance it?
Well, the problem with TikTok, if you watch one 15-second video and you watch it in its entirety on TikTok about young people's mental health, from there, instantly that algorithm will start bombarding that child with amateur mental health advice. Some of it actually really that's designed to corrupt the child, and that's a real issue, because it will target anything that you show any interest in at all, which is fantastic if it is maths and other things. I haven't brought Nicholas in on this one yet. Nicholas, what say you?
Very interesting points from what Lorraine made earlier on. But it's good to be able to talk about this, but we are serious that we have a problem here. It's not even the next addiction. It is an addiction at the present minute in time, the mobile phone. The social media is, I don't even know a quarter of the ones that's out there, but we have a disconnected, or teenager now are disconnected. They're unable to talk to one another unless it's through phone, and I think this is a backward step for ourselves. The government can make laws, and if they're going to do it, if Australia's doing it, it's going to take a long time to tweet it. While we're going to give up our ID to say that there has to be another way around that, because I don't think people's going to give up their privacy.
Well, you see, therein, this
yeah,
is,
but I mean, like, there's other ways of doing it.
Well, I'll give up my anything that I have if it means protecting young people from.
But why does the young person not give up their ID to say that they're going on?
Yes, but the only way that works, you see, is if you're not going to give up your ID to say I'm too young to go on it, right? It's a process of elimination. You eliminate all of those that are of age to go on, and then you're left with those that are underage. So it's the adults have to give their identification to silo the young people.
I possibly say, you know, it's always good to do something, but as too little, too late, because social media is huge influence on our children, as we know. That's just what they see.
But it's the Wild West. There's
and
no regulation.
Not only in our young children. I had to laugh at the Halloween party in Dublin, when thousands of people come out in O'Connell Street because somebody put it up on social media that there was a Halloween party, and it wasn't. There was no party. There was no parade. And people turned out because somebody put it up. It must be true. It's on Facebook. Fake news. I don't know.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to take a break. We'll be back in 3.5 minutes. Stay where you are.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Is the end of cap payments in sight? In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, we report on growing fears that Brussels is poised to axe the cap. Commission proposes lump sums for small farms. Mart's warn TB proposals could hit farmers' pockets. Lakeland Dairies sounds alarm over storm-out threat to cow numbers. Find out how much Tirlawn's share spin-out is worth to farmers. Minister pledges to pay remaining acres money within weeks. Plus, win a Yamaha quad. Collect your first token this week. All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal.
Make more meals for less with Dunnes Stores, where you'll save on ingredients to make delicious hot dogs. That's an 8-pack of Irish pork sausages, just €1. Cooked in a pan before serving in buns, 6 for just €1.10. Delicious with your favourite toppings, all from the Dunnes Stores range. Plus, you can save at the till with a 5 off 25 grocery voucher. Dunnes Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next in-store grocery shop of €25 or more.
With over 1,000 TFI Local Link door-to-door services nationwide, if you're on our route, we're on our way. To use the service, simply pre-book the day before you want to travel with your TFI Local Link office. To find out more about door-to-door services in your area, visit transportforireland.ie. We're Transport for Ireland. We're transport for you.
Looking for the ultimate school tour destination? Discover the largest family entertainment complex in the Northwest, Century Complex. Dive into fun with our soft play area, conquer the indoor crazy golf and enjoy a private cinema experience with packages available. Call 07491 21976 to book your adventure today.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why. The Lotto jackpot is an estimated €4.2 million.
Play responsibly in store, in app, or at lottery.ie.
The National Lottery. It could be you.
Chase Medical is now open in Letterkenny, offering expert-led medical assessments and diagnosis in a modern private healthcare setting. Fast appointments, trusted care, and a clinic designed around you. Book today at jasemedical.ie. Chase Medical. Informed health, empowered life.
Coonies have gone sofa mad with incredible savings on the Brooklyn sofa 3 and 2 with console all reclining. Was €2097, now only €1299, saving €798. The Sydney sofa 3 and 2 and 311 was €1897, now only €1499, saving €398. All sofas in stock ready for immediate delivery, but hurry, only while stocks last. Coonies Home Interiors, style and perfection at incredible value.
The Hyundai 252 Offers event is happening this week. Discover the all-new Inster, 2025 World Electric Vehicle, and the Santa Fe, Women's World Car of the Year 2025. Explore the new Ioniq 5 and discover why Ireland loves the best-selling Tucson and award-winning Kona. The Hyundai 252 Offers event happening this week.
Your local dealer is Divers Hyundai, Canal Road, Letterkenny. Call 91 22 600.
There's more ice cream to scream about for less with Lidl. Mix and match and chill with any 2 flavours for €5. Choose popsicles, ice one. There's no topping our nutty ice cream sticks, or say Cone Appetit to super soft cones and more. Enjoy more for less when you go full Lidl this summer.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Get set for summer with all new arrivals dropping every week, from fashion to footwear and homeware to cosmetics. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Okay, so the weather forecast has been very samey, which I suppose is a good thing. Dry with plenty of sunshine today and just light easterly or variable breezes. Temperatures ranging 19 to 22 degrees, and it's going to be that way through Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll see what Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday has to hold. Well, with all that in mind, we're in the midst of an amazing spell of weather, and we live in the most beautiful county in Ireland. I'm not sure anyone on this call is going to disagree with that. So, Emer, if you had to recommend a place, an experience or an activity to a visitor, or even someone who's doing something within the county, what would it be? No pressure.
God, it'd have to be our direction.
That's we don't mind parochialism. It's perfectly fine.
Well, I'd be telling them to come down, start off in Slieve League, Silverstrand Beach, and work your way back out, or even go the way around by Ardra to Mahara. We did actually a trip there one Sunday. We tried to do something every so often. We headed off, and it was the most. We went down to Mahara and on round by that way, and we came out by Glencolumkill. It was absolutely fabulous, and it was the first time I'd actually taken that trip. And then you come as far as Killybegs. You have the waterfall. You have the most fabulous restaurants, places, things to do. But again, we probably need the good weather to enjoy them. So I definitely look at all of Donegal, as you said, is absolutely fabulous. And a group of my friends, we do always try to do a few trips every summer, and we go to different areas. But yeah, we did often say that when we headed off to all the other places, we live in the most beautiful place ourselves.
And you can have such different cultural experiences within the one county too, which I find remarkable. I can't imagine Nicholas Crossan's going to step 1 inch outside in his own, or perhaps you're going to surprise us, Nicholas.
Well, I was going to go do a guided tour of Donegal, but if you're asking for one spot, it has to be the biggest peninsula in Ireland.
Yeah.
Starting off at Green and Navalia, down all the way through Inch into Buncrana, Dunree, over Mamore to the Magic Road in Mamore, and unfortunately, but hopefully very soon, the Isle of Doe will be opened again. Pat done a great job down there, and it was a terrible tragedy what happened for him. Into the heart of Inishowen and Carn and Malin, out to Malin Head, Five Finger Strand, Knockamenny Bend, the scenery from there, and to the very top of Ireland, to Malin Head. turning around there and coming back into into the.
Yeah, but stay and spend a few quid in Malin. That's the problem. People just turn around and leave. Stay and spend a few quid.
Oh, there's no problem. I'm a great believer there's in getting a pound out of the pocket. But come back down through Kildare to the Blue Flag and Carramina there, where Thomas D'Arcy McGee left to go to write the Constitution of Canada. I had Canadians down there this day fortnight. I was just doing that route. Over into Kennego Bay, down into Maritime and Greencastle, down the Foyle, and then up in Wild Ireland, the biggest peninsula in Ireland. Inishowen, the wild rest of the county is beautiful. There's no two ways about it. But the top of Ireland, right here in Inishowen.
Okay, Lorraine Thompson, what say you? I feel like I'm going to get a more nuanced answer from you. I don't know why. I just feel
more balanced.
Yeah.
So I was at my book club last night with Rush Fitness, bit of a plug there, and we had about 10 women in our group. And to kick us off, I asked them this question, and I got 10 different answers, and everybody was really passionate about their reasons. But one of the members there has set up a new website, and I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called whatsonletterkenny.ie, and I thought it was a very good answer that they would go there and they would say what was happening in Donegal on the day in question. So I thought that was great, and it obviously has it's a fabulous website, but it's very up to date in terms of events and activities. That being said, this week I had the pleasure of visiting Arnmore for work, and in this weather, it actually felt like I was abroad. It was absolutely amazing. I visited the school there. I was super jealous of their view of the beach. The ferry in and out, it was just absolutely amazing. I also was fortunate enough to make my way to Dunfanaghy on, I think, Wednesday night. My daughter was pier jumping, had an ice cream, a little walk around the town, and one of the bars had all their chairs and tables outside, and there was a live musician who actually at one stage on his guitar was on top of the table playing Purple Rain. It was phenomenal.
What an experience. That's got everything. It's got live music, sitting outside and being able to nose on everyone. No, I'm not talking about you, me. That's just sit outside and have a nosy at everyone, driving past, walking past. Fantastic. Well, listen, that's unbelievable. We'll ask our listeners. We'll ask our, and you got 2 plugs in. What's on Letterkenny and Rush Fitness? Well done.
And the book club.
And the
so
book club.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, brilliant stuff. How's did they close Main Street Killybegs in the end, or did they come up with some sort of a compromise?
I didn't even walk through the main street, but I do, they seem to be out working, but I don't know. I can't answer you that, Greg.
That's all right. It's okay. Listen.
I've been away. I've been in the office trying to catch up at work after holidays, and
we're also blooming busy, aren't we? It's crazy stuff. Listen, Emer, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. Try and make a bit of time for yourself. Thank you for your time as always.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye. Lovely to have you on the show again, Lorraine. Chat to you soon. Love to everyone. Take care of yourself. And last but not least, Nicholas, thank you so much for calling in to us. It's been good to see you again, and you're looking fantastic as well.
Thanks, Greg. And I enjoyed the hour.
Good.
A quick hour.
Does not belong going
no,
in, does it?
That's great.
Right, okay, so I'm going to throw this out to the great public. What do you think is the greatest singular experience that you would recommend to someone in Donegal, particularly during this good weather? Obviously, we heard from Nicholas, the entire peninsula, Emer, all of southwest Donegal, and Lorraine picked her faves out as well. But what is the one experience that you would recommend to someone visiting Donegal, or the place to go? Let us know. 086 60 25,000. That's the WhatsApp and text number. Or give us a call on 074 91 25,000. It's the 9 till noon show, you know. And we'll be back with more after we take a break for the news, and we'll also bring you the obituary notices.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Claire Clothing, Main Street, Letterkenny, where Lisa and Claire will help you look your best this summer. Seasonal shorts, t-shirts, dresses, beautiful clothes for your holidays. At Claire Clothing, Main Street, Letterkenny.
At Restex Beds, we are celebrating 50 incredible years in business. And we are introducing our brand new Glenveigh mattress, comfort that's as legendary as our half-century legacy. Experience 50 years of bedding excellence at Restex Beds, Mountaintop Letterkenny. Restex Beds. Leave the rest to us.
Attention Donegal, Derry and Tyrone. PD Bathrooms and Tiles are proud to unveil our newest and most stunning showroom in Lisfannon Business Park, Buncrana. Located right opposite the Northwest Golf Course, we offer unbeatable quality and incredible value. For 30 years, we've been the experts in total refits, stocking and serving as the sole agent for many top brands. Visit us today and transform your space with the finest bathroom and tile solutions. Telephone 93 95 884. PD Bathrooms and Tiles, where excellence meets value. Lisfannon Business Park, Buncrana, F93H10F.
If you're fitting a new kitchen or replacing some tired appliances, now's the time with the Ben Sweeney Euronics Kitchen Bundle. Get a single oven and hob, integrated dishwasher and fridge freezer, wash machine and tumble dryer, all for just €2,000. Other kitchen bundles are available on request. Call us today or visit Ben Sweeney Euronics, Port Road, Letterkenny, in the shopping centre, Dunlow.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
Walk the line with the award-winning Johnny Cash and June Carter tribute show Cash Returns, live at the Everglades Hotel Derry on Saturday 24th of May. Tickets available on eventbrite.ie. That's Cash Returns at the Everglades Hotel Derry on Saturday 24th of May.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donal Kavanagh at the news desk. The Doe Famine Village is set to reopen on Wednesday following an extensive fire at the start of the month. The blaze, started by equipment in a display, engulfed 2/3 of the tourist attraction. A spokesperson says they're proud to welcome back visitors with guided tours running daily. They also thanked the public for their support. Over €106,000 was raised on a GoFundMe page in the wake of the fire. As the good weather continues, the people of Donegal are being urged to conserve water. Uisce Éireann has identified Letterkenny, Buncrana, the Twin Towns, Carrigart and Downings as areas which are under pressure. Milford, Kerrykeele and Ramelton remain under a hose pan. Below average rainfall levels since last September have compounded the strain on reservoirs. Uisce Éireann's Water Network Operations Manager for Donegal, Damien O'Sullivan, says there is a risk of drought.
Well, look, we have over 40 drinking water supplies in Donegal, so which we monitor closely. Of these, I suppose, at the moment, we've identified 4 which are at risk of drought. So the Met Éireann forecast, for May is very dry. So that's why we're appealing to the public to conserve water in those areas at the moment. I suppose if further measures or restrictions need to be implemented to help manage the water supply, our local communities will be updated.
The need for action to address speeding in Fawn has been raised in the Shannon. Senator Manus Boyle urged Transport Minister Darragh O'Brien to make the village a priority under the low-cost accident scheme. He outlined the requirement for additional signage and a pedestrian crossing due to the volume and speed of traffic passing through Fawn on a daily basis. In the Shannon Chamber, Senator Boyle told Minister Jerry Buttimer that the close proximity to the border also needs to be taken into consideration.
As you know, it's on the peninsula and it's very close to Derry, and there's a lot of traffic up there, going and coming, especially at the weekends. There are a lot of holiday homes up on the peninsula. So anything that we could do to help the situation, that would be greatly appreciated, because the last thing we want to have is an accident.
I would hope that we can work with Donegal County Council to ensure that we can prioritise investment on our regional and local roads, and in particular in the Faughan area here, as you said.
A 10th review into maternity care at Portjungla Hospital in Ballinasloe, County Galway is now underway following the recent death of a baby. The HSE investigation comes after a series of serious incidents, including 7 cases of babies suffering brain injuries during or after birth since 2024. 6 of those infants required specialist cooling treatment. 2 stillbirths in 2023 are also under external review. Sinn Féin's health spokesperson David Culnan says it's very concerning.
We have 10 live investigations now. I would imagine that women who live in the area and women who use the maternity services will be very, very worried. So the first objective of any healthcare system is to ensure that a safe service is being provided. And if a safe service is not being provided, well, obviously drastic action will then have to be taken.
A man's been arrested in County Derry on suspicion of a number of offences after an incident in Coleraine. The PSNI say officers were conducting routine duties in the Drumcroon Road area yesterday afternoon when a black Seat Leon failed to stop and made off with speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour. Just before 2:30 a pursuit began. That ended with the deployment of a Stinger device which stopped the car. The driver was arrested on suspicion of a number of driving offences: possession of a Class A drug, possession of an offensive weapon in a public place and resisting police. And the preparation of a town centre first plan for Glenties is progressing. The plan will focus on strengthening the role, image, vibrancy, vitality and resilience of Glenties. With more, here is Michaela Clark.
The process to roll out a town centre first plan for Glenties has commenced. Donegal County Council's Director of Community Development and Planning Services, Liam Ward, says the plan will assist and support the local community in the renewal and regeneration of the town in a sustainable manner and will greatly enhance the special significance of the town and its offering in the long term. A public consultation will open on Thursday, May the 22nd, with a drop-in event at the Market Hall, Main Street, Glenties from 3:30 to 7:30 p.m. The council says the public's thoughts, ideas and aspirations for the town are essential. The public consultation period will close on Friday, June the 6th at 4 p.m.
Weather forecast dry with plenty of sunshine today, just some light easterly or variable breezes. Top temperatures 19 to 22 degrees Celsius. That's Highland Radio News. Check all the day's news on our website, highlandradio.com. We're back with headlines at 11, but for now, from the news team, good morning.
The obituary notices this Thursday evening, May 15th. The death has taken place of Charlie McMonigal, Lech, Letterkenny. House strictly private, please, at the request of the deceased. Requiem Mass on Sunday in St Eunan's Cathedral, Letterkenny at 12 noon, which can be viewed live on churchservices.tv. Followed by private cremation at Lakelands Crematorium, Cavan. Family flowers only, please. The death has taken place of Marion Muldowney, 52, McNeely Villas, Old Town, Letterkenny. Marion's remains will repose at her late residence from 4 o'clock this evening. A service to celebrate Marion's life will be held at the Eternal Light Chapel of Rest, Mountain Top, Letterkenny, tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, followed by private cremation. The wake and service are private to immediate family only at the request of the deceased. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu of flowers to the Irish Blood Transfusion Service, care of any family member or McAteer funeral directors. The death has taken place of Dan Matig, Gorton Amona, Glencar Road, Letterkenny, County Donegal, reposing at his late residence today from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m, concluding with rosary. Family time, please, on the morning of the funeral. Requiem Mass tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. in St Eunan's Cathedral, Letterkenny, which can be viewed live on churchservices.tv, followed by burial in Conwall Cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations, if wished, to the Friends of Letterkenny University Hospital, care of Pascal Blake, funeral director. The death has occurred of Emmanuel Familola, Sailors Rest Shorefront, Buncrana. Emmanuel's remains will repose in St Mary's Oratory, Buncrana, this evening from 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock. Requiem Mass will be celebrated tomorrow morning at 10 a.m, followed by interment in St Mary's Cemetery, Cockhill. Requiem Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. The death has taken place of Dymphna Quinn, 1 Lansdowne Park, Strabane. Requiem Mass is ongoing at St Mary's Church, Melmount. Interment afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live via the parish webcam. The death has taken place of Lally Eileen Donaghy, Carricklee, Greencastle Road, Moville. Lally's remains are reposing at her home. The wake's private to family and close friends, and a private cremation for Lally will take place at Lakelands Crematorium, Cavan, at a later date. For family information and more details on wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Highland Radio. Throbbing head, sore back, the aches and pains of cold and flu. No one pain is the same, but for all those everyday pains, there's a moment when you start to feel release. That moment when you start to get back to being you, and you feels amazing. Panadol Extra film-coated tablets, powerful pain relief. Release starts here. Contains paracetamol. Always read the label, leaflet.
You're very welcome back into the second hour of the programme. I want to thank Emer McGuinness, Lorraine Thompson and Nicholas Crossan once again. And thank you for messaging throughout the course of the morning. Just in relation to mobile phone usage with people of a certain age, here's a text coming in from Gary. My 12-year-old daughter is the only girl left in her classroom at national school that doesn't have a phone. She's 12. She can email her friends if need be to arrange play dates, etc., but now feels like she's left out from the rest who are on Snapchat, Instagram and the rest. My explanation to her was that 2 years ago you used to tell me about how these other girls were better than you at spelling tests and in class and knew answers, yet when I attended a parent-teacher meeting recently, I was told you're the most engaged, highly intelligent and always getting top results in tests while these other girls aren't. Why do you think they're not, I asked. I got a smirk because she knew it was when they were introduced to a phone. In my opinion, it is ludicrous to hand a child a phone and not expect future mental health issues. Where's the brain development process? It's up there with letting me into the controls of a Boeing 747. But imagine, though, it's a toughie because you have to be resilient there as a parent. Your 12-year-old daughter, the only one in national school without a mobile phone. Greg, no need to, with IDs or facial recognition, make social media legally liable for its content and you'll soon see it all clean up sharpish. That's impossible, though. Because firstly, if the European Union find an issue with one of the social media giants, it fines them and then it's tied up for years and years under appeal. The UK is a different system. The United States have a different system of engaging. Australia does. You know, we are at the whim of Europe, really, effectively, in terms of what action is taken against social media giants. But they're so well resourced and there's so much money in our children that they can resist it at every turn. Here's the problem, says a listener. I was at my niece's birthday that was 11 years old. Among her class friends were girls who looked 16 and girls who looked 7. Yet they were all aged 11, so false IDs easily faked. You can easily fake an ID to get booze or smokes, but the reality is the majority, and we do this to protect children. I'm not campaigning here, I'm just having the convo. We do what we can to ensure that young people don't have access to alcohol and smoking. Does that mean that some people get around that and do drink and smoke at 15? Yeah. Do the majority not? Yeah, they do, because it's the norm, you see. So nothing's going to be perfect. And if we were striving for perfection to fix an issue, we would never achieve that and nothing would ever be addressed. My children cannot distinguish between fake news and the truth. It's getting worse and worse. The artificial intelligence now at this stage it's come on so much. I mean, there are literal full videos of politicians in circumstances that they were never in, and it is all completely generated. It's not actors or it's not just switching faces. It's completely generated. I mean, have you seen those baby videos? Personally, I don't like adults' voices being put in kids, but anyway, have you seen those baby videos where they're in the style of Donald Trump or Elon Musk or Putin? I mean, you would think a Hollywood studio spent billions making it, and it's just being done through parts of ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence servers. Greg, we're experiencing fantastic weather at the minute. Would common sense not tell the council to open the public toilets? No point in opening them in June when it's raining and there's no one on the beaches. I watched a young child yesterday have an accident because there was no open toilet, and that ended in that family leaving the beach and going home, which is really unfortunate, horrible for the young person as well. I presume the public toilets are open as not in response to the weather, but as part of contracts, I would imagine, and those contracts are going to run in the summer months. I could be wrong, but Greg, people aged between 18 to 30, their cars should be governed to 80 kilometres an hour. I don't think you have to go to 80 kilometres an hour. I mean, you know, I've said it before, Aaron's car wasn't governed, but he was on a black box, and it was just to the speed limit. But it really, you know, when you're sitting in a car doing 50 in a 50 kilometre zone, you realise that I wonder sometimes, do I go over that? Because this feels pretty slow. A caller says, I do believe children should be offline as long as possible. However, I have a problem with all these digital platforms having all your data, IDs, etc. Well, listen, they have your data anyway. Go on to Google Maps, click into Timeline, and pick a date in the last 8 years, and it can tell you specifically where you were for how long, unless you've gone in and disabled that, which is quite an onerous job in itself. Go into Google Maps, go into your profile, go to Timeline, and pick any date you like since you've had an Android phone or since you've had Google on your iPhone, and it will tell you specifically where you are, whether you walked there, drive there, got a bus there, took a boat there. Now, unless you've expressly switched off Google have that information. Check it out. You'll be amazed. Morning. Tell Nicholas Crossan that Buncrana sign is awful looking. Money wasted as usual. Another. Hi, Greg. 50% pass rate on driving tests. Is the driving schools of the quality needed to raise this appalling rate of failure? If it was a school exam, there'd be massive backlash. But I mean, you do your 12 tests. I just done my 12 tests. I've finished them. Maybe I'll do another 2. And if I apply for my test today, as I say, I won't get an invite to book my test in a show until the end of November, and it's likely it'll be early January. And in between then and now, unless I've got a mum or dad or brother or sister sitting on with me, I'm not driving at all. So that's bound to be a factor as well. We've got good driving testers. They get people through the test eventually. In relation to how we drive on our roads, this behaviour is on the road every day. In Ballabafay this morning, I met a car doing 60 in a 40, and worse, it was on a bend. Everybody is in a rush, and in a rush going, nowhere. Common driving, it's not all young people. Of course it's not, but statistically, it's most likely to be young people. And I do understand how people get quite defensive, but unfortunately, we know the rate of fatalities and serious injuries in various brackets, and it's predominantly in the 18 to 35s, not exclusively, but I understand where you're coming from. Driving, it's not all young people. We were driving through Letterkenny and along a busy road toward an equally busy roundabout. The woman driving the car beside us sat reading, typing on her phone the whole way along the road and driving onto the roundabout, and she was no spring chicken and really should have known better. Regarding the Garda knockdown, how is the person on the motorbike doing? Gardaí are rarely out patrolling on foot in speed checks. They're usually in the car. Why would anyone be standing out trying to wave someone down? Was the Garda himself at fault? Well, that Garda is being buried today and leaves behind him a wife and 2 children and a force that is grieving. I certainly from here don't know. Now, we were talking about social media earlier on. People seem to want to open their phone and speculate as to what happened, even having never been there. I don't know the ins and outs, and I certainly wouldn't be inclined to speculate so soon after a tragedy. The motorcyclist is recovering in hospital. Right, okay, on a much lighter note, I want to know, say I'm off Monday, and I am off Monday, where should I go? Where would be a good place to go? Well, it's not for me really, because I'm from here and I've been everywhere. But I'm on about if someone was visiting the county. We want your suggestions. Where's in your view, the jewel in the crown, place that you cannot resist going? Things to do in Donegal. Visit the fish and chip bus at Downing's Pier. Indeed, it's open. I saw it open there not so long ago. And it's a wonderful setting. There's a few wonderful settings as well. Head straight for Fanad Lighthouse via Port Salon. Get out of Carn Port Salon. Get a kayak somewhere and go up the coast, the caves. I was in the caves at Port Salon and paddled up there. It was like being in where is nice, where coral reefs and stuff are, right? It was absolutely heaven. Just a wee paddle. And you know what? The one thing about kayaking, by the way, kayaking is a great way to get fit, and you can get into it too. There's some brilliant companies that hire it out. But anyway, this caller's not stopping for a paddle. I did. Head straight for Fanad Lighthouse via Port Salon. The scenic drive alone is breathtaking. Then a walk to Pollency Arch is a must. Yep, that's beautiful as well. Although, when I was up there the last time, there were signs, and I felt discouraged by the signs. What is the situation there? I don't have sometimes, I certainly don't want to do anything I'm not supposed to do, but I remember going up to see the Pollency Arch, and it didn't seem accessible. Was that just a moment in time, or is that all the time? But anyway, this caller says, walk to the Pollency Arch. It's a must drive back to Port Salon and have a swim at the pier or at Ballymastocker Beach. A refreshing pint in the store bar. Well, you've got me now. Or coffee from Latte Love Coffee, where they serve the most tasty tray bakes. Then the narrow quarter on the way home for a delicious meal. Perfect day out. Wow, that sounds heavenly. Critch Island is fab. Haven't been to Critch Island, I don't think. No distractions, loads of walks, lovely beaches, and the kids love it. Picnic and car-packed heaven. Haven't been to Critch Island. I don't think I have. Driving down over Mamore Gap into Urris, beautiful anytime, but stunning when the sun shines. Stunning. My brother lived here all his life. Took mates twice, 2 years in a row, took mates to Sleeve League. but in fact it took them to Glencolmkill. He believed that's where he drove past it every time, and was taking them to Glencolmkill and saying, "Look, this is beautiful Slieve League." Let me see. All right, keep them coming, by the way. Where would you go? What would you do? What would you recommend to someone visiting Donegal? One thing. I'm loving the meandering journeys, but I'd love to get some sort of specific things. Anne Black says Dunfanaghy, beautiful wee town. It is. Dunfanaghy is, and it's incredibly popular, like really, really popular. Felamy says Malin-Head, which he would, of course. Felamy, you would say that, wouldn't you? Mamore, Knockalla, Atlantic Drive, magic indeed. Keep them coming into me. Best wishes to Jonathan Callahan, Adele Muldowney, who are getting married today. Lots of love to you both from Kieran and Caroline. What a beautiful day to get married. Well done. Congratulations to Michael Boyce and Alice on their wedding today in St. Patrick's Church Crossroads from Gerard and Bernie and Gerard and Magella. I just got a message from my brother thanking me for hanging him out to dry. Well, sorry, Drome. I'm going to name you now. You should know the difference between Glencolmkill and Bloomin' Slieve League. Let me see. We are going to be going to our next guest after we take the bingo numbers. Good luck if you are playing today.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Friday, the 16th of May. You're playing on the yellow sheet for the daily prize of €1,000. The reference number is S20. It's game number 20. The numbers are 18, 35, 34, 9, 66, 2, 31, 49, 68, and finally 90. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
All you need to make your house a home at Patterson's The Hall Lifford. From garden furniture to kitchens, sofas and dining sets, all under one roof. Need a new mattress? Why not visit our sleep centre on the first floor, with a large range of quality beds and mattresses in stock and ready for collection or delivery. Relax in our coffee shop serving hot lunches daily. Open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Patterson's Kitchens and Interiors, The Hall Lifford.
Are you worried about trees on your property? Northwest Forestry Services Ballybuffet are fully insured and have over 40 years experience in dangerous tree removal, tree felling, surgery and stump grinding. For peace of mind, call Northwest Forest Services Ballybuffet for a no obligation quotation on 91-32033.
Get your home and garden summer ready with Watson Hire in Letterkenny. From lawnmowers to trimmers and compost to lawnmowers, they have everything you need to tidy, clean and green your space. If you're painting, inside or out, choose the best value paint in Donegal from top names like Fleetwood and Johnson's. Watson Hire, open 6 days a week at Lisnen and Letterkenny, with great deals to have your home and garden looking their best. See watsonhire.ie.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
It's a tough old time to do business at the moment, and I think particularly in industries where there's bookings, because we've heard it from restaurants, hair salons, nail technicians, all those types of businesses whereby they have a booking system, but that can be problematic at times. Rena is owner of Signature Nails and Beauty by Rena. Hi, Rena.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing good. Right, what's the situation with your business? And I would say any of salons or businesses similar to yours, or as I say, restaurants and what have you, will be able to relate to this. What's been your experience of late?
Yeah, so we've found recently more and more clients are either not showing up or cancelling late notice. And this really has an effect on business, not just for the staff sitting around doing nothing, but also other clients that are desperately looking for appointments but can't get in. like we don't work on a walk-in basis. It's all booking. So if you book your slot with a technician, that's your time with her. And if you don't show up, then or cancel last minute, we can't give that appointment away to someone else.
What's your average slot time, Rena? Would it be 3/4 of an hour, an hour?
It can be
or?
anything from an hour to 2 hours.
So that's a big chunk of your day potentially where you're in your business and you're not making money, yet you're incurring the costs of running a business and also letting down perhaps potentially one of your regulars or something. I know you'd accommodate them as best as possible, but you are going to be saying, I'm sorry, we're booked out today. But there you find yourself with this big gaping hole in the middle of the day.
Yes, and we do have waiting lists because I'm sure everyone that's tried to make appointments with us in the past know that we do book up weeks in advance. And if those slots aren't cancelled with good time, then we can't fill it.
Now, listen, we know, Rena, life is busy. You don't know if a kid gets a cold, something comes up, that happens, and you would understand that.
Sure.
But you obviously know enough with the trend that's happening that it's not all of that, that people are just making decisions that suit themselves or that they think, oh, right, I'll do something else instead. We're not talking here about where things happen in people's lives. That's understandable. You must be getting the sense that people are just doing this for their own reasons at your expense.
We find that, especially now, not complaining about the good weather because we can't, but especially when the weather's good, people tend to not show up. So yeah, we do understand that life happens, and there are reasons to cancel appointments or if you're running late, that's fine too. But I think the problem is just the lack of communication. If we book that slot for you, it's just the right thing to do to cancel it.
The obvious suggestion sort of is going down the deposit route, but you have to introduce that for everyone then. And then, of course, you've got a special relationship with your clients as well, and it might be a little bit uncomfortable sort of saying, can I have a deposit? And them saying, well, I've turned up every blooming Tuesday of every month for the last 10 years. You know what I mean, really? So can you go down that route, or is that something that you do? Or if you're not going down that route, why not?
We have now started taking deposits from new clients, first time bookings. But then you do get the odd regular client that also doesn't show up for slots. Now, clients book appointments with multiple technicians on the one day. It can be up to 3 hours, and if they don't show up, then 3 technicians could sit with no clients. So, we do. We have the deposits for new clients, and we do have a cancellation fee as well. Cancellation fees can be paid then before the next appointment is either attended or booked.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And I think it's really just understanding or having a little bit of consideration. Maybe people listening to business, in relation to businesses like yours, don't realise there's a daisy chain effect to this. People aren't making money. It can be the difference between a good day and a bad day. So just to have a little bit more consideration, I think, Rena.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And I think clients don't realise that it might be their appointment that they're not attending, but there are multiple clients that don't attend. Now, we have the most amazing clients, and they do attend their appointments every single time, but there are the clients, like from the start of April to now, there's been about 5 to 10% of slots that were either late cancellations or no-shows that we couldn't fill.
Yeah, that's huge. 10% at the higher end. Okay. Right, okay. Well, it's good to get the message out there. So we all just think a little. Is there any nail trends at the moment? What's trending? What are people looking for, Rena? Obviously, there's the maintenance and stuff, right? But if I have a special event coming up, it's going to depend on my outfit, of course. But is there anything in vogue nail-wise at the moment that we should know about?
Yes. So the new thing out is water nails. It's just a nice nude with a high gloss. Is trending at the moment.
Okay, so water nails, nude. Okay,
Yeah,
and then we'll
a
go over
nude
the
with
top
eyeglass.
next year, Rena. You know, that's the way we do it. We'll go nude, low-key this year, although glam, and then next year we'll just go bright purple or something. We'll see, okay?
That's it.
Rena,
Bright pink.
Thanks, bright pink eye, perhaps better. Rena, thanks very much indeed. Owner of Signature Nails and Beauty by Rena. And Rena's not complaining. She's just like so many in that industry are saying, look, if you can't make it, try and give us a bit of notice, and just consider that if you're sort of not showing or cancelling late for casual reasons, that there is big ramifications on a business. Let me see. Hi, Caroline and Greg. Could you please wish Sean Rogers from Leo's Restaurant and David from McElhinney a happy wedding day today? Is it Sion? Have a lovely day from all the Dunleavy family in Carrickfinn and Annagrees. It's Sion Rogers. I think it is Sion and David getting married today. Have a lovely day. Gar says, Ramelton for fish and chips from Johnny's Ranch. A stroll down to Butch Road, followed by an ice cream sundae from Worski's. Finish off with a pint in the Bridge Bar, listening to the man in the hat. Okay. Right. Now, I'd go to On Port and Hill, walk to Glenloch and see where Rockwell, Kent stayed, says Paul. Listen, Paul, thank you very much for that.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
New this week in Home Store and More. All Hotel Collection duvet sets are half price. But better hurry, because when all our half price Hotel Collection duvet sets are gone, they're gone. Also, all dinnerware sets and all barbecues are still all 33% off. But when all the 33% off dinnerware sets and all the 33% off barbecues are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Ready to order your 252 Nissan? Then get to iMotors Letterkenny from Thursday, May 15th to Sunday, May 18th. Explore the exciting new Nissan range with cutting-edge tech, bold design and unbeatable value. We're taking 252 orders now. Your perfect car built your way. Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 12 to 4. Don't miss it.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Are you renovating your home or moving house? Either way, it may require a clear out. Before you fill your skip with items you no longer need, think circular and ask yourself, can the item be reused, given to family or friends, recycled, donated to charity, or even sold? So think before you skip it. Go to mywaste.ie for help and suggestions on how to do a clear out in an efficient and circular way. Brought to you by the Government of Ireland.
Welcome to Cherrymore Kitchens and Bedrooms in Donegal Town. Discover affordable luxury with our bespoke fitted furniture solutions. With almost 30 years of serving Ireland and the Northwest, we're your trusted experts. Visit us Monday to Friday 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. Book your free consultation today on 074 9725822 or visit cherrymore.ie. Cherrymore Kitchens and Bedrooms, where affordability and luxury combine.
Joe Gallagher Entertainment presents Taylor Fever, the ultimate tribute to the sensational Taylor Swift, is making its way to the Mount Errigal Hotel, Letterkenny on Sunday the 18th of May. Hear iconic hits such as Ready For It, Shake It Off, Cruel Summer, Karma and many more. Tickets on sale from hotel reception and ticketmaster.ie.
And you are very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. 08660 25,000. That's the WhatsApp and text number. Or give us a call on 074 91 25,000. Were you watching the Eurovision last night? We're going to be speaking to someone who was there at it from Donegal very, very shortly. So stay tuned for that. Ireland didn't get through. That's the thing I find really quite annoying. I thought Ireland had a real good chance of getting through, but they didn't, which is, I think, a shame. I think they should have gotten through. What do you think? 08660 25,000. Right, now, some more of your comments. Hi, Greg. Just a word about hedges. Around Ard O'Donnell. They're that far out on the footpath. Some people are stepping on the roadway. Someone is going to get hit with a vehicle soon if someone or something is not done. Can you put it out there? Thanks for sure. I also want to mention something that was lost at the hospital yesterday. And I'll just open this up. I says I would, and I want to make sure that I do. I've opened the wrong app. Okay, let me see. Right. More of your comments coming in here while I get to that. I'm from Derry and I just love the alpacas in Donegal. It's the best day out. Yes, Fanula was at the alpacas and there's different alpacas around the place. Fanula was at the alpacas and said it was amazing. She might talk about that. Fanula's in with us, is she? She is, yeah, okay. Greg, listening online in Sligo, I just love Ironmore Island for a long weekend. Yes, indeed. It's great to have you on board listening to us. Thank you. And it's up there in my top 3 anyway. Right, so this caller says, my sister lost her purse last evening. She was in Letterkenny University Hospital visiting our brother, who's in there sick at the moment. She had it there, but misplaced it somewhere. I rang the hospital, but it wasn't handed in as she went to the toilet on her way out. Anyone find it might ring Highland. She had her bank card, medical card, and some money in her purse. The bank card is frozen at the moment. So, did you find a purse in Letterkenny University Hospital? Were you in to that lady in question? She was in visiting her sick brother, so you can imagine they don't need any other hassle. Let us know 074 91 25000. 074 91 25000 is the telephone number.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Loganair says, let the wee ones fly. Kids aged 11 and under go fare free this summer. Just pay the taxes. Book by the 25th of May for travel from the 1st of June 2025. Find deals at loganair.co.uk. T's and C's apply, subject to availability. Children must travel with a full fare-paying accompanying adult.
Is the end of cap payments in sight? In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, we report on growing fears that Brussels is poised to axe the cap. Commission proposes lump sums for small farms. Mart's War on TB proposals could hit farmers' pockets. Lakeland Dairies sounds alarm over storm-out threat to cow numbers. Find out how much Tirlawn's share spin-out is worth to farmers. Minister pledges to pay remaining acres money within weeks. Plus, win a Yamaha quad. Collect your first token this week. All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal.
Make great photos into beautiful gifts at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. Different gift ideas include canvas prints, freestanding or ready-to-hang art blocks, and personalised photo books, perfect to mark any occasion. There's also jigsaws, calendars, mugs, and much more. For details, visit mcgees.ie. Turn your favourite moments into something truly special with McGee's Chemist Letterkenny.
Nippy, fun and chic don't often describe insurance, but they perfectly fit the electric Fiat 500 you have the opportunity to win if you get a new car policy from An Post Insurance. For great cover at a great price and a shot at the Fiat 500, get a quote at anpostinsurance.ie. Acceptance criteria, terms and conditions apply and are available at anpostinsurance.ie/promotions. Competition ends December 31st, 2025. One Direct Ireland Limited trading as An Post Insurance is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. One Direct Ireland Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of An Post.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why. The Euro Millions jackpot is an estimated €155 million. Play responsibly, in-store, in-app or at lottery.ie. The National Lottery. It could be you.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Get set for summer with all new arrivals dropping every week, from fashion to footwear and homeware to cosmetics. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Okay, the weather's continuing lovely and sunny. Dennis Sweeney, are you there?
I am indeed, Greg. Good morning.
How are you getting on, dear? Are you well?
I am indeed, yeah. A bit of a hoarse voice from last night, but all going well.
Well, I suppose we'll talk about your history with the Eurovision, but very disappointing Ireland didn't get through. They were certainly favourites to get through. I think they should have got through, Dennis.
Absolutely, yeah. It was just extreme. The atmosphere in the arena was extremely, disjointed and heartbreaking for Ireland last night again.
I mean, it had everything, didn't it? It had all the razzmatazz you'd expect from a Eurovision finalist.
Totally. They threw the kitchen sink at it with all the fireworks as well.
Yeah. Why do you think it didn't get through?
I think it's a lot to do with, it's all to the public now. So obviously there's a lot of Irish spread over the UK and Australia, but, they just didn't vote. Years ago, you could blame the juries, but now when it's all public voting only, you can only blame yourselves for not picking up the phone and voting.
Yeah, and there were other surprises too. Australia not getting through was a surprise, and there were others.
Exactly, and a lot of the same choreography was done by the same person for both Ireland and staging for Australia and Ireland, so both of them not through is quite disappointing. But a lot of shocks as well. You've got all the Scandinavian countries and Baltic countries all in it for the first time in 10 years.
What was the mood? Not getting political, but I'm curious because we got a censored version of it. What was the atmosphere in the arena like when Israel were performing?
To be honest, this year it wasn't as bad as last year, Greg. When
Yeah.
we were in Malmo last year, there was horrific booing and, applauding, drowning out the booing, but it wasn't as bad as last year.
All right, okay. So, in the rehearsals, I mentioned Australia and I mentioned Ireland. Both of them went through. You're blaming the public, are you? Do you think the love affair between the Eurovision and Ireland is over? We need French, Germans, Dutch, Spanish, Portugal, all picking up the phones. That's the way it works. We can't vote for ourselves.
Well, the UK were able to vote last night and so was Australia. So you'd think about the amount of Irish that were in both them countries, Greg. You think they would have lifted up the phone and helped us?
Yeah, well, they didn't. Come here. What was the experience like? This is your 8th Eurovision. I think that
correct,
qualifies
yeah.
you as a super fan.
Yeah, so this is my 8th, and obviously you'll see on my social media, Facebook, the year that Eurovision didn't take place. Myself and my husband, we did a run take of all the winners that won for Eurovision just one Saturday evening in the house, being a bit bored, and then put it out live at 8 o'clock, which would have been in time for the Eurovision.
So you did your own little Eurovision.
Yeah, so we're ready to add Emmy to the list of the videos, but unfortunately it's not to be.
Okay. What was the standout moment for you from last night? I mean, outside of Ireland's performance, for an example, just to give us a sense of what it's like being there.
I think, the UK did very well. Them girls can sing their harmonies. They can really, bring it. They've been put on the spot with media, interviewing them. They were on vocal rest as well during the week, but, they can sing. Obviously, Finland's well up there this year as well, rocking it out there. There's been nothing that they've not won since Lordi won some time ago. Greece was a big shout out as well, the last country through. There was plenty of Irish fans running around grabbing a Greece flag in the end.
And come here, are you there for Saturday night?
We are indeed, yeah. So we're just touring about today. The bizarre thing, we went to a party afterwards, as you do.
Yeah, of
and
course.
I actually bumped into someone from the same village as me.
Yeah, but that's not good. That's the problem, isn't it? You can't get up to any mischief because you always bump into someone that knows you no matter where
I
you are.
know when someone comes up and taps you on the shoulder and says, "My mum taught you at national school," how old do you think I felt?
Come here, how do you go about securing the tickets, Dennis? Because I presume there's a huge demand, but you've managed to do it 8 times now.
They get released in waves, Greg. So
Yep.
normally, the normal thing is whoever wins Saturday night, they'll announce, within a month's time what cities are going to bid for it. If Sweden were to win, Malmo's already put themselves out of the running, so most likely it go to the capital. Then a wave of tickets come out in the November, and then another wave in the January, and then the last flurry. Once the stage is built then and they know what the capacity is, they'll release the last wave of tickets. But, sometimes you have to sell a kidney to get a ticket for the final.
Yes, you're down to no kidneys, I'd say, at this stage. And Dennis, what do we do to get through or potentially win this? Listen, we've gone full Eurovision. I think we did full Eurovision last night. I don't think there's much more we could do.
Totally.
A great song, great stage, catchy. There was a dance. It had everything. We've tried sort of the comedy stuff. We've done the goth thing. Is it a case of just banging in ballads for the next 4 or 5, 6 years, really strong ballads, and just saying, look, this is our thing?
Totally, Greg. I think we need to bring the house down, go back to reset and go back to the big, powerful ballads that got us the wins in the 90s.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'll let you get back to your margarita. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Take care. That's Dennis Sweeney, who is out at the Eurovision and having a fantastic time. The weather looks unbelievable there. Why is Australia in a Eurovision Song Contest? Well, it's a song contest. It's not that prescribed. There's countries that are outside of Europe that have always been in it. Greg, Ireland's Eurovision song was complete rubbish. Let's be honest, it wasn't even worth of an entry, in my opinion. And I love your opinion, and it's right. But, I don't like the song, but it's catchy. It's an earworm. When I say I don't like it, sorry, it's not going to be in my playlist. But it's catchy. It's an earworm. It's camp. It's fun. It's quirky. And, that is full Eurovision. Now, whether we like it or not, we're entering a competition and you sort of see what wins and what does well. I think we have to go back and stick for 4 or 5 years to power ballads. Big, big songs, because they do well, and that's what we do best, I think. Raging Greg, Ireland didn't get through. Yeah, I agree. Hi, Greg. The Eurovision has changed a lot since the time of Johnny Logan. Hold me now. The acts that are on it now wouldn't have had a look in back in the day, when I think the acts that are in it now are pure crap. Every one of them, including Ireland. I mean, but there's some crap. I don't think Ireland's in there, to be honest with you. I think Ireland was a good Eurovision song. Gary, is it that time of year again?
Reg and Greg.
Huh?
Don't start.
Bum 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 bum
really?
bum 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 bum. What went wrong, Gary?
I just think, Greg, to be honest, people aren't they're not voting. People aren't lifting the phones to vote. I was so sure it would get through.
Yeah, and even the bookies, and I hate to give them any platform, but even the bookmakers, who very rarely get these type of things wrong, even they were of the view that Ireland were odds on to get through, but people didn't vote. Why not?
Exactly. I just don't know. It's a strange one, because, I have nephews and nieces, and they were saying, it's really catchy and it should go through. And their performance, even her vocals and the staging of it, everything was, I thought anyway, was spot on.
Yeah, I think so too.
But for some reason, they think out of 16 songs, and there's 10 goes through, and one of them wasn't Ireland. And that on the night, I think it was one of the best performances. And I just found there was a few of them too, Greg, and I just found the minute they come on, I was like, boring, next please.
Yeah, there are some cultural differences, of course, so things are going to sound strange to our ear, but still, let's have a little sample of this. Look, everyone's clapping, Gary.
I know her vocals,
and that's live. She looks fantastic as well, and the whole stage looks great.
It was, and the guys in the spacesuits and the screens there at the rear, and them doing the summer dance that they were doing on stage.
Are you going to watch Saturday? I'm kind of sick, and I probably will. No, well, I can't. I'd actually have something on Saturday night. It depends whether I watch it or not. Depends on what's happening. If it was raining and stuff, perhaps more. But has this made you less inclined to watch Saturday night, or will you pull yourself together and watch?
Well, I'll have to pull myself together and maybe I'll have to have a wee beverage or something.
Okay,
but
okay.
I'm in Dunlow. I'm working in Dunlow on Saturday, so hopefully I'll be back for 8 o'clock. But watch it every year. But last year it was really interesting because Ireland were there with Bambi Thug, and made it more interesting. But with Ireland not being on it on Saturday, it's not the same.
No,
I'll watch it, but it's not the same.
And
Did you
who
watch
is
it
your?
last night?
I didn't. I tell you, it was a mixture of things, right? I didn't get to watch it because the darts was on, and I had this sort of this crisis in me. Do I man it up and watch the darts, right? Feel really, or do I watch the? I actually did both. I did both.
Well,
so I missed Ireland.
I
switched. I'll tell you exactly what happened, Gary. All jokes aside. By the time I got back to the house, I switched over, and Ireland had just performed. So I says, what I'll do is I'll watch the darts, right? And then I will come back for the voting and sort of, watch a review of the acts. And that's exactly what I did. And I still think they were great.
Yeah.
But there were other surprises as well. There were other acts that didn't get through that should have gotten through. But who's your favourite now, Gary?
Probably. There's a song, actually, it's catching me here, and it's the Netherlands.
Right.
And obviously with the bookies, Sweden has, with the bookies, it's Sweden. But I think that Austria song's worth watching.
Okay. Right. Brilliant.
The guy with he's like a really operatic voice.
Uh-huh. There was a lot of, it was interesting last night. There was a lot of sort of, what's that Boone guy called? Benson Boone. There was a lot of sort of
Benson
moustache.
Boone,
Yeah, there was a lot of moustaches and mullets going on too.
I know.
In it, which I thought was quite
aye.
interesting. All right, Gary,
The
listen, enjoy.
moustaches are back,
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy Saturday, Gary. Thanks very much indeed. Adele, good morning to you.
Hello.
Are you disappointed?
Of course, because I thought it was a really good song.
Me too.
But I actually work nights, and I know I saw on Facebook during the night, because I have like Eurovision things on Facebook,
Mm.
that she came 10th in the public, or sorry, 6th in the public vote.
Right.
But it's the jury vote that she lost out on, because I think Australia came 4th in the public vote, and they didn't get through either.
So it's not all phone calls. There is
It's
still.
not all public vote. There's a
Oh,
jury
right.
vote as well. You see, and now I did try to look at it later on, but I couldn't see it. But yeah, so that's if it was only public vote, I got through. But I don't know if you remember 2 years ago when Sweden won it, and the Cha 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 was the Finland song.
Mm-hmm.
They were voted by the public,
Yes.
and the public loved it. And actually, when it was in Liverpool that night, the crowd in the audience were calling Cha Cha Cha.
Yeah, I remember
because they wanted that to win. But it was the Swedish one, and that's because of the jury vote.
Which obviously is going to be politically skewed, whether we like it or not, right?
Well, these are the people that know everything, but we're the public that are voting.
It should be down to us, shouldn't it?
Well, it's kind of like they're taking part of it out of our hands.
What do we do to sort of feature again? We can't just completely. We can't start doing the Bambi Thug thing every year. Would you be of the view that I'm of that we need to go big strong ballad for a few years and just see how that works?
It doesn't matter what it is. If the song is good enough, because it can be a pop song, it can be like Lordy. I still love Hard Rock Hallelujah. Like that year, I was telling everybody, I said, that's going to win. That's going to win. End of story. But they're just, if it's the right song.
Can we do a better pop song?
It doesn't matter whether it's a ballad or a techno song or whatever.
But can we do a better pop song like A Party, though? I don't think we can.
I don't know.
It's a cracking Eurovision pop song.
Yes, yeah. I still don't. I don't know. It can be on the night, on the year. It just depends. But you get a good song. I know my mom told me that when ABBA won it, that it was the first time there was ever a song like that. Before that, it was all these nice ballady songs. And then ABBA Come On were completely different. Now, ABBA Come On the year before, and they got nowhere. I think it was 74 they won with Waterloo, but they got nowhere the year before.
All right, are you still going to watch Saturday night?
I will, because I love it so much. I went to Liverpool 2 years ago.
Lovely.
I have a sister living there, and there was a whole gang of us went over just for the atmosphere with no tickets to get in or anything like that, and then watch it that night in my sister's house with the whole party watching it. It was absolutely fantastic. Liverpool did brilliant.
Yeah.
I've never been to anywhere with it before, but I have always loved it.
And what are you going to just sit and watch it, or a little party, or maybe a glass of prosecco and some nibbles?
Well, no, I'll just sit and watch it on my own, and my husband will go off because he hates it.
Yes, but he should sit. Listen, it's 3 hours. He should sit there and grin and bear it, Adele. And you working nights all week. I hope I don't bump into him now. I'm going to get a hiding. Adele, listen, enjoy. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for your time. Take care. Bye-bye. That's Adele. I don't even look at Eurovision since Dustin the Turkey was entered. I thought that Dustin was a joke against Bertie Ahern. This was only funny in D4, not to the rest of us around the country. How can we take Ireland seriously after that escapade? But we're so far removed from that now, aren't we? We went nowhere last night because we're too vocal about Israel. It's possible because the last time there was a lot of controversy about Israel, they won the bloomin' thing. All right, okay. Let's stay on, ironically, an upward note. And you wouldn't think that we were talking about Doe Famine Village so soon removed from the fire that devastated much of it. And we're kind of sort of speaking in the positive, and I think it's really good. Pat Doherty is the owner of Doe Famine Village. And Pat, before we talk about what's to come, how are you now? Last time I spoke to you, obviously, listen, the dust, the smoke had barely extinguished. The damage was still smouldering, and obviously it felt pretty hopeless and helpless at that time. How are you feeling now, Pat, with all that's happened in between this fire and now?
Well, bit of a different world now at the minute. No, we took a while to get over the shock of it.
Yeah.
And it took a while. And then maybe what turned things, made me think different was, the drowning of the two lads in Buncrana, so it made you think that wee bit different, how things could have been completely different.
Yeah.
And so the other thing is, the community has come in and put so big an effort into it that we have to try and get it going again now.
And with that in mind, it will open, the village, the centre is going to open its doors to the public again from Wednesday, May 21st. Talk to me about that.
So the villages, or the visitor centre is in two sections. And one of the sections is the 1900s, where we lived ourselves up until 1984. So that tells the story of how we lived, how the people of Inishowen lived, and how they farmed, how they fished, how they caught rabbits, things like that there, and what they would have eaten. And then it tells about the poaching and the Irish wake. And part of it tells about the start of the famine and Christianity in Ireland too, from the start. So then the second section, which is away from that, is the part that's all burned. And you have to go through a tunnel to get from one area to another. And that's the second part is burned. So that'll not be there for a while. So that's like the Orange Hall, the evictions, the safe house, the travelling community.
Pat, when I spoke to you, this was a life's work, or much of a life's work, building this up bit by bit. And it would have been very hard in the aftermath of that fire to see a path back. Can you see the path back now? I just wonder, we're a week or so removed from that awful fire.
When it happened, I'd given up on it. I says no, because we're getting older and we're at it now for 27 years building that place, and every year there was a piece added onto it, and we're getting older, so I'd kind of given up on it. But now, because of what people have done,
well, people weren't prepared to give up on you, Pat. That's the problem. No. You might have been prepared to give up, but unfortunately, we're not prepared to give up on you.
Oh well, because of that, then. And buses have been talking to us now, and they told us that if we're not open now, they'll move on to another part of the county or down to Northern Ireland. So some of the buses will stay overnight. They'll have to come here. They'll stay. Maybe we'll get them in the morning, and they'll be moved on into another part of the country. Because we get French buses in here. They come in here at 9 o'clock in the morning. Their next stop is Slieve League, and the next stop is Donegal Town for that night. So they do a massive area in a day, a bus tour.
And I know this sounds like a reach, okay, and I'm not saying it's an attraction, but in a way, what happened there is kind of reflective of history in a way. We saw recently the fire in West Donegal where the church was destroyed, and and over time, that's happened twice at that church, and over time, things get destroyed and then we rebuild, or we rebuild back, and it is a historic village, the Famine Village, and I suppose in a way, whilst it's not intended and it's not an attraction, it is kind of reflective of life and what can happen.
I definitely so, and people before us more likely struggle too, and and they fight back, but as a community, it really pulls this one together.
Yeah,
it's not to do with me; it's the community, and with contract with a massive heap of contractors wanting to come in and clear it up, and then there were so many of them in it, and then with a company called Dewey Brothers, and they came in and did the organisation of it, and got another few contractors, and they cleared it off in one day. What was there, which usually to look at would have took maybe a week or 2 weeks.
Right, Pat. Well, listen. Again, the trauma and the loss has not been scrubbed, but it's nice to be speaking to you, and we're looking forward again, and it's opening again on Wednesday, 21st. Guided tours will run daily starting at 2:30 a.m, the final tour at 4 p.m. And I'm sure people will flood there to support you and the family, Pat. And thanks so much for joining us again.
Thanks so much, Craig, and thanks for everything.
Take care of yourself. Bye-bye, Pat.
Right, good luck.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Says, oh, Mr. Brennan, normally I'd wax lyrical about this kind of thing, but today, well, just listen. That's the sound of freshness, you see, because it's our lovely wrinkly wax paper that keeps the freshness in. I wish my wrinkles were a sign of freshness, says I. Brennan's. Today spread today.
Summer Sounds at Harvey's Point. Every Wednesday from May the 21st until June the 25th, a magical evening of music, song and dance from some of Ireland's greatest stars. Gourmet dinner, the warmest of welcomes. Don't delay. Book today. harveyspoint.com or 074 972 2208. That magical evening on the shores of Loch Esk awaits.
Be a winner and view the trophy collection at Brian McCormick Sports. Full colour awards, glass and crystal, perpetual cups and shields, sports awards, metal cups and medals. Whatever the occasion, click bmcsports.ie. Budget medals for sports days with personalised inserts to promote your club and school. Full engraving service available at Brian McCormick Sports, Main Street, Letterkenny.
A public interest message from Donegal County Council. Donegal County Council are carrying out septic tank inspections across the county and would like to remind homeowners to check the condition of their wastewater treatment systems for signs of sewage overflows, blockages, pools of effluent on lawns or in nearby ditches and streams. Direct all soiled water from sinks, showers, dishwashers and washing machines to the septic tank, but not rainwater. And if it hasn't been emptied for the last few years, please get it cleaned out by a permitted contractor who will dispose of it properly. Further details on how to protect your health and environment are on our website, donegalcoco.ie. Donegal County Council, protecting the environment.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
Okay, it's 11:11. Time for a news update. And good morning once again, Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. Another status orange fire danger notice for gorse, heather, dried grass and other vegetation has been issued for County Donegal, with the warning effective until midday on this coming Monday. Landowners and the public being urged to take all necessary precautions to prevent wildfires and report any unattended fires without delay. In particular, homeowners and business owners in areas prone to fires are urged to clear or trim vegetation surrounding properties and oil tanks. As the good weather continues, people in Donegal are being urged to conserve water. Uisce Éireann's identified Letterkenny, Bundoran, the Twin Towns, Carrigart and Downings as under pressure areas. Milford, Kerry, Keelan, Ramelton remain under a hosepipe ban. As you've been hearing on the show with Greg, the Dofamon village is set to reopen on Wednesday following an extensive fire at the start of this month. The blaze, begun by equipment in a display, engulfed 2/3 of the tourist attraction. €12,000 has been awarded to 12 childminders in Donegal under childminding development grants. Nationally, there's been a 7% increase in uptake of the funding. The monies are to improve quality and safety in those settings through the purchase of equipment and training. The need for action to address speeding in Fawns been addressed in the Shannon. Senator Manus Boyle called on the Transport Minister to make the village a priority under the low-cost accident scheme. He outlined the requirement for additional signage and a pedestrian crossing due to the volume and speed of traffic passing daily through Fawn Village. And people are being urged to watch what they're borrowing in case there's an economic downturn. Consumer lending has doubled in 4 years, with €2.5 billion taken out in personal loans last year. 850 million in car loans was drawn down, while loans for green home improvements hit new heights, with the average coming in at over €12,000. They're the headlines. Back with news headlines again at 12 noon.
Thanks very much, Donald. We'll be back with That's Entertainment. It's Fanula Rabbit, Donna Marie Doherty joining me after these.
Dig oise cara, conna tá sales an Astro. Cracker bit an seo. Well, I heard Theresa do imagine. Live a lord them sin a leighton to seo. They make dul quick more on koshery, mac. No main an colour carbe. By law in takamara cogam.
Is féidir le feib codalta drochhúmar strus agus imní a bheith mar chóirthaí gur chóirdeid do bheabharthlánse a cheacáil. Tá tacaíocht ar fáil ar an Eirlis má phlean meabharthlánse ag yourmentalhealth.ie ón HSE.
Okay, that is entertainment, and that is Fionnuala Rabbit I see before me. Good morning, Fionnuala.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing good. Donna Marie Doherty's there too. Hi, Donna Marie.
Hello.
What's going on?
I know, I've got somebody new to play with today.
What's going on with you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I
heard on the news something yesterday. What in God's name's going on?
Oh, I don't even I've never even thought about it, to be honest. No, well, I'm just making some little minor small changes to my lifestyle, as everybody knows, and I showed him when he came up. My beautiful grandson is getting bigger and bolder, and please God, in September he will have a brother or sister. So I just kind of decided, with the license sorted and things like that I will be moving and working down in Galway. So I just felt it was time to kind of give somebody else a go, I suppose.
Now, the obvious choice, I think, for most people listening would have been me. Now, I couldn't have taken it on because of my workload.
That's it, exactly.
So you opted for Sean Quinn.
That's it, exactly. You know, second in our hearts, but not in our minds. No, Sean has been here and he's done a great job with the sales and things like that, and he's very good. And obviously, the sales is such an important part of the station outside of the, that's what keeps it going, so that we can be what you are, which is the voice of Donegal, or at least what we try to.
Caroline, clip that.
What we try to be as
Do you hear
much
what
as
she
possible.
said? I'm the voice of Donegal.
Absolutely. Well, Caroline is as well, because she comes up with all of the guests and
So
and
the question,
people and that kind
lots of
thing.
people are texting in. If with you moving on, though heavily involved in the station still, it should be said, and Sean Quinn taking over, there's three options, right? Am I less likely, more likely, or equally as likely to be sacked going forward? Is there any
less likely, I would say. I've
Okay,
got you
cool.
completely covered.
Could you clip that
Completely
too, please? Clip that as well, thanks.
Where would we be without you? In all fairness, every morning.
I'm not gonna say.
Every morning. Look at your
So
Jane
listen,
Laws were great. Once again, all our listeners stay with you and growing all the time.
And come here, it's about you, not me. It's good. It's great for you. You've done brilliant up here. It's been fantastic
Oh, my
having you for
God.
the last 11 years. As I say, you're not going anywhere. You still have an important role, as do the family.
Oh, well,
as a
Donegal is
whole.
unbelievably has such a big part of my heart
But
now.
with everything going on
I
with
just love
you,
it so
with
much
your,
up here.
as you say, your beautiful grandchildren and everything, and you've been through a tough enough time as well,
Yeah,
somewhat
well-
removed from a very supportive family.
Yeah.
So personally, whilst it will be sad not to see you every single day, I'm personally delighted for you. I think it's lovely for you, and I think you deserve
Yeah, I
it.
think
And you're not going to be you're not going to be quiet.
No.
You're going to be busy, right? But that being said, it's just nice to have your.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just nice to be down around. But I suppose, look at when I have this opportunity now to just say it, I just really want to thank everybody in Donegal, every single person. Whenever I go out and about, people are always so kind. My accent, I think, is a little bit weird, so people recognise me when I speak in the butchers or in the shop, or when I'm out and about, just even, generally doing my own shopping and stuff. And they're always so kind and so nice. And when I go to events and everything like that, I mean, I came up here and it was only going to be for 6 months, and it's been
But you just
the best.
couldn't stop updating LinkedIn.
I know. That's it. It's about my CV.
Chamber member.
It's
head
about
of the
my
chamber,
CV. I'm all about-
manager.
I know.
CEO.
I'm all about my CV. I'm going to have it printed on my headstone.
Absolutely ridiculous.
But
Right, we've been used.
The 10 years that I've been in Donegal have been I have to say, the best 10 years of my life.
And a
Almost
lot went on
11.
in your life too, because I don't mean that.
Oh, no, just
but
even-
like the 10 years, so we
Oh, my
went through
God, I
COVID.
went-
You became a granny.
Yeah,
You
my
had
daughter got married
your
when I was
health
up
issues,
here.
which thankfully you're over.
I did.
What
I
I
went
mean?
to had a wonderful time, and I've done loads of different courses. Went to Ulster University and got my MBA, and went to college there over time. And I have to say, I highly recommend the experience. It was fantastic. They're very supportive when you're working and trying to do something like that as well. It was amazing. So it's just for my career growth and my personal growth. My time here in Donegal has just been absolutely fantastic, and then the county is just so gorgeous.
Well, we were
I love
asking
everything about
today.
it.
We were asking today, and we can keep it going through this item. What you would do if we could recommend one thing. Anne Brogan said Murder Hole Beach, Melmore. Yeah, Murder Hole Beach now is far more accessible, which is great. And we were also talking about the Eurovision Song Contest. Katrina says the song this year was class, but we need a new venture with big stage presence. I think Greg and Lee Gooch should go through. Get a rake of farmers, foot and turf, and sing how wonderful Donegal, Ireland is. Throw in a few Irish dancers. Donna Marie, listen, thank you for joining us as well. Of course, it's great to have you in subbing for Michael. How are you keeping?
All good.
No
all
news,
good.
no all quiet with you.
No, all good, all good. I'm also moving to Galway.
Yes, really. Well, you could have told me off there. There is a structure that often people ignore, but shouldn't. No, I'm only messing. Did you watch the Eurovision last night?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So
Donna
did
Marie
you.
has busy lifestyles.
I
casually watched it.
I casually, as in a TikTok, I kind of got the highlights and watched the.
Sneeze on air. Apparently, you can't
God
sneeze live on
bless
air.
it.
Excuse me.
To be honest now, I watched it, but the way I watched it was that I recorded it and then I could kind of skim through the ads and that kind of thing. Because I used to watch it. And I was one of these people who, begged their mother to make me a Bucks Fizz skirt. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Why could we not have a skirt that you don't remember? You weren't even a thought. Your parents probably weren't even married back in them days, whatever. Didn't even know each other. But what the Bucks Fizz was when they came on.
Born.
Well, in fairness, close enough.
I'm only joking.
But when they come on with the Bucks Fizz, what they did was they had like a long skirt and they were dancing away, and then suddenly there was two men and two women, and the two guys took a hold of one side of the skirt and the girls twirled and the skirt came off, and then there was a little mini skirt underneath it.
Oh, wow.
We all desperately wanted one in my day.
It was cool.
It was the
It was seen as
coolest
cool,
thing.
yeah.
Oh my God, it was so cool. And I desperately wanted one. And we used to be, it was one of those things like the Rose of Tralee where you were allowed to stay up late and you got to watch it. And it was so amazing.
Did you do the thing? Remember when it used to be you'd get a thing in the newspaper, the centre pages, and you could write your scores
Yeah, you could
in?
see what you thought
Yeah,
and different
they'd be
things like
listed
that.
and
And you
you'd
could,
write
oh
your
my God.
scores in and all.
It was like, it was the Rose of Tralee and the toy show. They were the things where you actually went to the shop during the day and you got your few sweets. And you were allowed to have like a fizzy drink or something like, something like that you wouldn't have. And again, she's looking at me like as if I'm 175. It's so far removed from her grown. But it was like one of those kind of event nights. You got to stay up late and you got your sweets and you kind of had your little goodie bag and that kind of thing, and you'd watch it all away. What is it now? I don't understand what it is. Like, it was supposed to have been about songs.
It's emerged. But it's not now. It's about performances. It's more camp, obviously.
I
don't
mean,
know.
there
But
was
then again,
some...
you see, a really top quality ballad can win it now, or Cha 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 could win it. So I don't know.
I agree.
It
Anything
is what it
seems to
is,
go
but
soon.
it's a mess. But it's.
I know, but it used to be that it was a songwriting competition.
Yeah, that's long
and that
gone.
seems to have gone now, because even with the obviously there's half of them, or more than half of them, were in languages that I don't know. But you could kind of tell that there were an awful lot of choruses in it. You know the way, because they're like saying the same. You know the way you're hearing the same words or sounds. So you're kind of thinking, all right, well that's the chorus, and they repeat it. It doesn't seem to have a lot of depth. Even with the English one, you know what I mean? Which I didn't think was a bad song. They played it last night.
Aye.
It's What the Hell Happened or something
Is that
like
the man that was upside down?
No. That's
That was wild.
is that the Australian guy that was upside down?
Oh,
in the
maybe
beginning?
it was.
I think it might have been him. And then there was one of the guys that got through that was from one of the Eastern European countries, and he had his shirt off, and he was like as if he was covered in coal dust.
And he was running, wasn't he? and
He
stuff?
was running on the spot.
So
I'd
let's
love
ask
to know what
Donna
that
Marie,
song was about.
What do you think the Eurovision Song Contest is?
I think it's all. I think with social media, it's all changed, and it's really become about the personality of the people performing it. And I think that's maybe where Emmy missed out, because anything I've seen from the Eurovision this year has been the song "Servin." It was Malta's entry, which is so like that's going to be a massive TikTok sound now in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say. You know, it has such a hook on it. And then also was it Estonia? Your man that was like he was standing in front of a shop and he had 4 dancers.
Oh, that was the night before.
Aye.
Yeah. I saw that one. Yeah, they had that one. That one has got a.
That was on the Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're dressed up in kind of like swimsuits or something like that. They're half dressed. Yeah.
And then there was a Jago as well. I'm not even sure what country it was. But it was a 4-piece. But they have a massive social media presence, so they do like whenever you look up Eurovision, it's just their actual own account. So I think that has a massive factor in it. But I suppose looking back on us, whenever we had Jedwardin, we did very well both times, but it was personality.
I think it's just hit and miss, and I think it's great competition when we're in it and we're progressing, and I think it's crap when we're not in it, and that's how fickle I am.
It's not that I thought it was bad. It's like there was some amazing singers in it. There was some amazing female singers, and they were hitting the notes and that kind of thing. And Austria had I'm going to say young man, but I'm not 100% sure, but has an act in which the singing was phenomenal. It was kind of nearly operatic at one. You know the way it sort of went into this like high operatic kind of a thing.
It's one of them every year where
it was
vocal
just
range is
they
amazing.
got huge vote. So it's not that it was bad, if you know what I mean. It's just that you're kind of like going. If I was sitting at home and I was saying I'm definitely going to go into the Eurovision next year, I'm not 100% sure. Is it about the song? Is it about the quality of the singer? Is it about, as you said?
Well, we have to decide that. We have to decide that, and then fashion whatever it might be. I think it needs to go back to an open song contest around the country like it used to. If we're going to have fun with it, and it is only fun. Listen, we know more than anything that there's far more serious things to be talking about. But I need, at times, something that's not the serious stuff. And sometimes it's the darts, sometimes it's snooker, sometimes it's football, sometimes it's Eurovision, sometimes it's Big Brother.
100%
and I make
love to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God,
I
it
would
looks
love
like
to go.
so much fun.
But we need to have a national competition whereby we're not fed 4 or 5 songs and then you watch RTE, because Samantha Mumba would never have been there if the public were deciding something, though I think she might have finished second. But, you know, just like, so who could enter? We've got, you know, we're going to have a young lad coming in to sing for her shortly. I mean, why can't his song be?
Well, even like we do the thing, and not just us, but all the radio stations do the
Search for a hero,
the local music hero
thing,
and that kind of thing. And like it's amazing the singer-songwriters that come out of that. And like not saying anything about Emmy, obviously I don't know a lot about her, but and I don't want to sound as if I don't. When I say that she's not Irish, I don't think she's actually been to Ireland previous to this Eurovision. And you're kind of like one of the songwriters apparently there's like 4 or 5 of them that wrote the song, which in fairness, I'm sorry now.
Yeah, what
didn't have that many words in it.
I'm going to go na. Now, what do you think should come next? Well, I was thinking na. What about you? Well, have you considered na?
It is very much about the hook.
How do 5 people sit around?
I don't know how they all give up with it, but and that's what I mean. Is she? You know, when you think of all the talent that comes out of like something like, you know, we had amazing talent here in Donegal from that, and equally other radio stations around the country had the similar, you know what I mean, had a similar, if not maybe a few less, but they still had some great talent coming through. And you're kind of, how did we end up with a very talented young woman, not doubting her talent or ability, but a tentative connection to
Can you even
Ireland.
sort of geo-block it now because we're in Europe? Listen, we will move on, but one of the greatest things ever come out of the Eurovision, particularly in Ireland, was Riverdance. And would you believe it's Riverdance 30 now, and there's a new generation, and they're equally as talented, and the show's equally as big. And it's on in Dublin. It's on in Dublin on the 28th of August. Now, do you want to go and try and source your own ticket, your own accommodation, your own parking, free time in Dublin? No, you don't, because we'll do that for you. So what we're doing is we have a package for you whereby we'll pick you up in a beautiful coach. It even has USB chargers in it. And we'll take you down to Dublin and book you into the 4-star Grand Canal Hotel in the heart of Dublin. You get bed and breakfast as well. Then we have some great tickets for the show, and we'll even allow you a bit of free time because you're in the heart of Dublin to go and explore. So this is part of a trip we're taking down on Thursday the 28th of August. There is limited availability on this, and if you break it down, this represents really good value for money. €249 per person sharing. And you can give us €100 now, and that will secure your spot and then sort it out the closer we get to the time. So if you want information on how you can go and see Riverdance and relive one of the highlights of Ireland in the Eurovision, give us a call now, 07491 25,000, or visit highlandradio.com. Maybe there's a wedding or an anniversary, or maybe you and a mate just want to go and see a big show experience in the Gaiety. You can call us now and we'll bring you in for one that. Right, lots more to come from Fionnuala and from Donna Marie after we take this quick break.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio. The 9 till Noon Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Claire Clothing, Main Street, Letterkenny, where Lisa and Claire will help you look your best this summer. Seasonal shorts, t-shirts, dresses, beautiful clothes for your holidays. At Claire Clothing, Main Street, Letterkenny.
Join us this Friday on Around the Northwest with John Breslin, live from iMotors John Keane. Ready to order your 252 Kia or Nissan? Then get to iMotors from Thursday, May 15th to Sunday, May 18th. Explore the exciting new Nissan and Kia ranges. Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 12 to 4. Don't miss it.
iMotors, fearless generation.
There's more ice cream to scream about for less with Lidl. Mix and match and chill with any 2 flavours for €5. Choose popsicles, ice one. There's no topping our nutty ice cream sticks, or say Cone Appetit to super soft cones and more. Enjoy more for less when you go full Lidl this summer.
Meet Liz. She's here to tell you why you should switch to Outsurance and save on your car insurance.
Hi, I'm Liz from Kildare. I made the switch to Outsurance and saved €145. I'm also on my way to getting 10% cash back with their out bonus.
Like the sound of that? For a competitive car insurance quote like Liz's, call 1800 600 400 or visit outsurance.ie. Real people, unreal savings. Outsurance. You always get something out. Based on a like-for-like policy comparison, the customer received a gratuity for their participation. Out bonus calculated less taxes and levies. Acceptance criteria, terms and conditions apply. Car and home insurance is underwritten by Outsurance DAC. Outsurance DAC, trading as Outsurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
The days are getting longer, the sun is making an appearance, and that means barbecue season is just around the corner. At Maple stores across the county, we've got you covered with quality charcoal, fresh meats, and all your sunny day essentials. Pick up something refreshing to toast in the sunshine. Treat the kids or yourself to some delicious whipped ice cream, and don't forget your favourite Maple coffee. Follow your local Maple store on Facebook for weekly offers, and remember, fuel too. Maple stores. Fresh, convenient, local.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
The time's 21 minutes past 11. I'm going to be asking Donna Marie and Fionnuala if they could pick one thing to do in Donegal, what would it be shortly? And we're going to talk about some TV and stage and cinema stuff as well. But listeners have been texting in their droves. Glenveigh, the jewel in the crown of attractions in Donegal. Very tempted to go there on Monday, maybe. I know people are very critical of the Fanad Bridge, but it is the most beautiful view ever seen. That bridge is beautiful, and the people of Fanad deserve it as well, and it's a hill I'm prepared to die on. Mallinhead, the Wall, Apaka Way, Momo Gap, and on to Fort Dundee, or any corner you turn, we have the most beautiful county. And I mentioned you a little earlier on, you are now in love with wild alpacas, I think, or at least those around you are.
As I said last time, my mother is obsessed that all of her grandchildren must go and do it, and we did it last weekend, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. And then we went, which I hadn't been to before, which was Culdaff Beach, which is a blue flag beach that they have up there. Stunning. Oh my God. Every time you turned around a corner, as I keep saying about this county, it'd take the eye out of your head. Every time you turn a corner, you think you've seen the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And then you go around the next corner and it's even nicer. But it was fabulous up around Inishowen there last weekend. Absolutely gorgeous. So
All right,
looking forward to it
okay.
again.
Pollen Arch is open, which is great. Great pathway made to it, but for a great time, take a trip on the boat from Teelan to under the cliffs at Slieve League and then on to Glencolmkill and the Folk Village. I am sure I was offered a freebie boat trip to see the Slieve League.
They were one of the winners of one of our
maybe that's where it was.
customer service awards.
Okay, well maybe we all had a pint. Very disappointed for Ireland, though. It had a great chance. Some of the songs were terrible. I'm from Derry and I just love the alpacas in Donegal. Wild Ireland, another wonderful experience. See the otters for the first time. I've never been to Wild Ireland either. Visit Swan Park in Buncrana and then the beautiful walks, white sandy beaches and so many lovely restaurants. You won't be disappointed. Visit Dunree Fort, lovely beaches, great walks, nice cafe for your cuppa. This would be a wonderful day out. Head to Ardnagana, the crossroads. There's a lot of nice people and the river is fantastic. Let me see. There's some of these song contests one. A day in Moville with lunch in Norris's coffee shop. Homemade sausage rolls is a must. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time around Moville. Then that's a hedge in a hilly, which we'll get to. Right, okay. So Donna Marie, where's your favourite place in Donegal to visit?
I love Fanad. I love Fanad so much. But me and my friends go there every summer. One of the girls has a mobile, so it's one of those things that is just so special. I also love Rathmullen. I think they have this chip van there, and it's just something about chips.
Delish.
Yeah, seaside chips on the beach.
In a bag with so much vinegar in that the bag begins to lose its integrity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then for something different as well, there's a lady who does. Her name's Julie Corey. You can follow her on TikTok, but sometimes she does foraging excursions. So you go with her and forage, and then you make this cook with the stuff that you get. It's really cool.
Oh, that is interesting.
All right. And what about you? If you had to pick one thing, Fionnuala? Now that you can routinely offend people.
I know.
Joke.
I love everything up here.
I know.
No, I love Fanad is beautiful. I love. I think Malin is stunning. It's like one of those places that you kind of think, what is it?
Yeah.
As in, there's nothing there. There's stones in the ground, and yet when you go there, it's nearly like an emotional experience. Yeah. It's so beautiful up there. I love obviously the wild alpacas. But we did one time is we went out to Ironmore Island and we searched and searched and searched, and we finally found there's 100 or 200 steps that you go
Did
down,
you go down it?
to the water. Oh my God, it was just beautiful.
Bring a spare pair of undies, though. I didn't like that. Did you go down walking or slide down on your bum?
No, we didn't. We walked down. Okay. Now, it was so funny because I was there with my mother, who obviously...
when you were a kid coming
my
down
mother
the
was
stairs.
like a goat going up and down it, whereas I had all the... anybody that was there was, would you like a hand, ma'am? Whereas my mother was up and down before I'd even gotten to the bottom.
Like a goat.
She's brilliant. But yeah, it was just beautiful. And you literally got to the bottom and all you wanted to do was to strip off and jump into the water.
Well, Ironmore
so
is spectacular. I love it, and I always have, and I haven't been out there since before COVID, would you believe? But I did happen to get out, and I'm starting to think I'm an islands person now because I went out to Tory last year.
That is, I've missed Tory, and I'm going to have to do some.
It is beautiful. It's a lovely trip out. It's a long enough trip out, longer than Ironmore. But we were there when the Puffins were there as well.
Oh wow!
And you come off at the pier, and there's just something about stepping off the pier. There's something about stepping off the pier to get onto the boat. But then when you get there, stepping off the boat to get onto the pier, and you go left, and there's a wonderful lighthouse. I'm nonplussed about lighthouses, but people seem to love them. And then you walk past the beautiful old remaining architecture that's there. Beautiful hotel there. We had something to eat. I think it was fish and chips, actually. It was lovely. And then you go on up the other direction. It's a tight enough walk, but you need to allow yourself some time, is what I'm saying. And then you come to these cliffs, these just sheer drops with all these birds and wildlife. And you just know the next thing from here is an awful long way away. And the people are lovely. And they listen to Highland Radio as well, too, which I find extra special. So Tory Island is definitely one someone should do. Ironmore Island, I can't wait to get back, trying to get it sorted and stuff. Maybe wait till Hudson's a little bit older. But brilliant stuff. All right, keep your suggestions of what's beautiful in Donegal, what we should be doing, because we're enjoying such fantastic weather. If we're fit enough to do so, we should definitely not waste that and go out and explore. And you don't always have to spend money. Right, Don't Tell the Wife is not a plea. It's something that is on in the Bala Theatre.
Oh, it is incredible. I went to go see it last night. My face hurt from laughing. So the premises of it is that there's a nosy neighbour who loves a wee gossip, and she's in getting her hair done with the doll down the road. And they start chatting about, oh, did you hear that Mrs. So-and-so's husband's out and he's not being good? And it's this whole like, oh my goodness, can you believe that? That's scandalous. And she goes, oh, you know, that dangerous age, you know, whenever they get to 50. And lo and behold, the main lady in it called, I was going to call her Edna, is like, Bobby turns 50 on Thursday, and shenanigans ensue. It's a real easy laugh. You know, when you go in and you're not having to think about who's who, and, you know, it's so funny. It's just like a series of mishaps, and it all comes together so well. So it does. But their last night's tonight. So if you're looking for something a bit different to do, I definitely recommend it. Just real. It's like physical comedy. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Is it a local group that's doing it?
Yeah, it's the Ballard DCA. So a lot of people who like they're stalwarts, but they haven't done anything in a while. You know, a lot of people. So I know them from being about the theatre, but never got to see them anything. So Brenda Lucas. It's her first time back on stage in ages. Oh my goodness.
Brilliant. Okay. So tonight's your last night for that Don't Tell the Wife in the Bala Theatre. It sounds like it was a great laugh.
Oh, God, it was brilliant. So it was.
There's a few documentaries have landed on Netflix. Unfortunately, none of you've watched them. There's the new one on the that Corbett case that's really quite
Michaela were on about.
Yeah. It's very interesting. And Fred and Rose West, there's one focusing on them as well.
I know. Well, the Fred and Rose West one, I did look at that one. No, but I did look at it. But I've seen so many of them. I kind of was thinking, do I, you know what? You sort of feel like you've known everything about them at this point because there's so much through it.
The Fred and Rose West one is light on stuff. It is. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's not an awful lot of content to it. I mean, it's shocking.
100%. I mean, the whole
shocking,
case.
Yeah, but.
Well, and I suppose there probably is a generation of people that don't know a lot about it.
For sure. Like, it's a bizarre story. But what you have watched is Apple Cider Vinegar. Now, there's a drama of this, and then there's a documentary. Is this the drama?
I watched the drama, which is the 4-part, but it's both based on exactly the same thing. The drama, they kind of changed the name slightly, but you know what it is. And there's actually 2 of them that I watched, because I watched Apple Cider Vinegar, and then I watched Devil in the Family, which is on Disney. And both of them kind of, at the core, is about the same thing. And it's about influencers. And so many times these influencers come out and, you know, people start, and I don't mean to, your generation in particular, are big into it.
Yeah.
And they find these people and they like follow it. And it's like all of a sudden, everything that they say, some people seem to think everything that they say has to be the truth and has to be gospel. And now all of a sudden, you know, we've gone enough of a length of time with that being in our culture and in the zeitgeist that suddenly you're finding out these crazy stories behind some of these influencers. Apple Cider Vinegar is an amazing drama kind of documentary in the sense that it is based on a true story. The true story is about Belle Gibson, who was an Australian young woman who told people on I suppose it was Instagram at the time would have been the main one, that she was recovering from like a stage 4 brain cancer, and that apple cider vinegar was the main thing that she had done, and came out with all these health thing. And there was a few other people that were equally in it. It was like she was kind of friends with somebody who was going through her cancer journey and who was trying to do it all health wise and only going with health kind of remedies that were sort of like online remedies, or what do they call it? Kind of like yeah, but not even like going to a naturopath. There was more like, my mother says if you rub salt on it, it'll be that'll get rid of it. Those type of things, rather than actually go to see an actual naturopath. And this girl came up then, and she had millions and millions of people following her and listening to her, and they all seemed to believe absolutely everything that she said. And regardless of the fact that she looked perfectly healthy, she in no way ever got ill. She started to bring her family into it and that kind of thing. In real life, it ended up with a whole court case and her being sued, and she was selling products and the money was supposed to be going to other things. And it just was an interesting one for me because I'd heard of it, but you're kind of getting the background of it. And it was just, to me, I suppose I'm not of that generation that just decides that everybody else is smarter or living a better life than me. So I found that interesting. And then The Devil in the Family, other people might have heard of her. Her name is Ruby Franke. And she was an American living in Salt Lake, did a big family vlog that started off as a vlog, and then it went into a whole big blog thing. And then she kind of went down. It suddenly, on one of her posts, she was talking about disciplining her children, and one of her sons mentioned that he had gotten into trouble for being a bit wild. Now, I think his wild was that he answered back and he wasn't doing well in school. It wasn't like as if he was off, selling drugs down at the local store or anything like that. And he had his bed taken away from him for 6 months. He was left to sleep on the floor in the garage. And the internet, as it does, turned against her. And so she went off and tried to find another way onto it and went down a crazy path to the point that she's after getting, I think, life in jail.
She couldn't resist the engagements.
Couldn't
the
stay.
notoriety.
Yeah. Oh God! It just became obsessed with it. Became obsessed with the children being involved in it. Just became the likes became her whole focus.
Yeah.
And then she kind of went down this path to the point that her children were found to be one of them. Actually, I know people might have seen it on the news. It was her son that showed up at the neighbor's house in Las Vegas, and that he and his sister had both been severely abused.
Yeah.
And the father had kind of walked away from it, and it was the whole story is just insane.
I think it's good to see that stuff because you have to know what's going on.
Well, I think you need to be. Look at there for every bad apple. There's probably 10 people that are with best intentions.
But the difficulty
influencing.
is that you talked about how influencers, the rise of influencers. It could be makeup, it could be political. But what happens is they gather an army effectively, and it's very hard to criticize them because what they do is they try and ratio you. They turn their supporters against you, and what happens is people are afraid to call stuff out. It's self.
Well, I think
self-supporting.
This has come up so much along the way, and look, I've no problem with anybody following influencers. We all do it in our day-to-day lives. We have people that influence us on a day-to-day, in real life and that kind of thing. But I think you need to be realizing that because they're an influencer, because they have a platform, does not make them God.
No,
does not make everything they say.
Yeah.
So many of these things are coming up now because influencing has become a thing. It's been at least 10 years.
It's money.
And and it is something that people are making
I'm
money
not
off, they're
getting
building
into it, but,
lifestyles off it.
If you look at the Tate brothers, you look at Andrew Tate, his business. That is
Yes.
his business.
Yeah.
So whether you like him or not, whether you think that he's an alpha male and you want to listen to him or you don't, it doesn't matter. Because either way, you get the eyes are on him. That is his business.
Line in his pockets.
You are the product.
There's also something to be said though about family channels, and whenever it is a business and child labour laws, how many hours goes into children
That's true.
performing essentially.
This,
and then
this happened with the Frankies was because when they started, all the kids were small. And obviously they thought it was hilarious, the way they were playing. But as they suddenly became teenagers, and then people started commenting on the children.
They're a business, they're part of the business.
They're part of the business, but they started reaching where they were more self-conscious, that their friends were aware. And as you're heading into your tween, your tween and into your teen years, it is a very difficult time for everybody, as in, you're trying to find yourself
Were
out.
they the family that they got one of the daughters to, they vlogged her first date?
Oh,
and
I
they
know.
tried
Possibly.
to
They've done
set her up
everything.
with
They
with the
did
little
everything,
boy.
and the girls tried to get out of it, and all.
That was awful.
It's just
Right.
great, but it's worth watching.
Okay, that's apple cider vinegar, the Belle Gibson. It's a drama, but it's based on a real story, and that story has also been documented. Devil in the Family is a straight up documentary.
Straight up documentary.
and
It's
that's
very
on
well done
Disney.
as well. It's they're talking to the older children, they're talking to family, neighbours, all this kind of thing, who could see it spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one too.
And the thing about the Corbett documentary as well, An
such a
American
terrible
Murder, I
story.
think it's called. It's terrible, but they have the dad, Tom, who was convicted of the murder. They have the wife at the time, whose name just escapes me at the moment. They have access to the two children who grew up through this. It really is a robust telling of the story, you know, and the daughter has a book out, actually. I think she might be coming up on the show in the not too distant future, not today, but in time to come. Right, you're listening to Donna Marie Doherty, you are listening to Fionnuala Rabbit, and you're going to be listening to some live music after the break, and then we'll be rejoined by the two. But I just want to let you know that John Breslin's broadcasting live around the Northwest today from iMotors up in Drumkeen. It's for a special 252 open weekend and follows on from a hugely successful motor show last week. The showroom, no doubt, will be buzzing with excitement as customers get a chance to explore the latest Kia and Nissan ranges, take advantage of exclusive weekend offers and place their 252 orders. And there's loads of second-hand vehicles there outside of those two as well. There's plenty to be seen up at Drumkeen. You can have that one, Seamus. There's plenty to be seen at Drumkeen. You can use that. I won't charge. The event will run all weekend. They're open Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday 12 noon to 4 p.m. Adding to the atmosphere, Donegal GEA legend Michael Murphy will be on site tomorrow, Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m, proudly accompanied by the Anglo Celt Cup. What a little exclusive that is for them. Obviously, their relationship with Michael Murphy's on running. They stuck through him with his retirement, and then they come back, and now he's turning up with the Ulster Final Cup, which is really actually quite a remarkable story in and of itself. So stay tuned. John Breslin will tell you all about that.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
My home is my castle. My sing in the shower place or work in my undies place. My pizza for breakfast, cornflakes for dinner place. My home is my me place.
With AXA Home Insurance, you can protect the place where you can truly be yourself and get 24-hour emergency home assistance as standard. Get a quote online or call into your local branch. AXA. Know you can. Policy terms and conditions apply. AXA Insurance stock is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
If you have a special occasion coming up, Watson Menswear stock a great selection of men's and boys' formal and casual wear. Top casual brands include Mishmash, French Connection, Tommy Bow and Penguin. Formal wear names include Rimazumo, Sixth Sense and White Label, with a special suit deal of a 3-piece suit, shirt, tie and shoes, all for only €299. Watson Menswear, open 7 days a week on Main Street, Letterkenny and at watsonmenswear.com.
We carry those up long before the day breaks, who make our lives better, whatever it takes. And for those who need some extra assistance, we'll get you on board and we'll go the distance. With new electric vehicles, quiet and cleaner, our growing TFI network helps keep Ireland greener for the days of your life and the big nights out too. We're Transport for Ireland. We're transport for you.
All you need to make your house a home at Patterson's The Hall Lifford. From garden furniture to kitchens, sofas and dining sets, all under one roof. Need a new mattress? Why not visit our sleep centre on the first floor? With a large range of quality beds and mattresses in stock and ready for collection or delivery. Relax in our coffee shop serving hot lunches daily. Open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Patterson's Kitchens and Interiors, The Hall Lifford.
Pick up fresh at Doherty Super Value, Carndonagh. Signature taste vine ripened tomatoes just €1.49. And broccoli crown 350 gram, only 79 cents. Quality produce at unbeatable prices. Shop local and save on fresh every day with Doherty Super Value, Carndonagh.
Luke Gallagher's from Brynelec in Gweedore, and he's in Letterkenny because he's a singer-songwriter. Good morning to you. How are you getting on, Luke? Good to have you in.
Hello, not so bad. Thank you very much for having me. Hey, thank you.
You're first in here, coming home to Donegal. You have a new song out. It's about Sam coming back to Donegal. Could we make it 3?
That was the plan, yeah.
All right, now you come from good heritage, don't you? Peter is in Goats Don't Shave. That's your uncle. Talk to me
that's
about
my
him.
uncle. He kind of got me introduced into music, and I wasn't too mad in it when I was at school. I just kind of picked it up kind of after school and just kind of ran from there.
And you self-taught the guitar. Does that really happen? What do you mean self-taught?
You just kind of...
You must have looked at some stuff as well, did you?
Ah,
Or
you
did you
do.
just have a good ear for it, maybe?
You do, no, you do. You can look at YouTube and you can look at all the rest, and you
Yeah.
you learn songs that you like to learn, like to play.
But you're not
and,
taught formally, and then you sort of put your own style onto it, all right?
Yeah.
And you're gigging as well. You're a busy lad. You're a spark during the day and performer at night.
Yeah, I'm a Phase 3 electrical apprentice as well. So
Mhm.
we do that, and then we do a wee bit of gigging in the evenings.
Very good. Where do you be playing?
A couple of pubs there around Gweedore. The furthest I've gotten out from Gweedore seemed to be Milford, Dusty's Bar in Milford,
Real?
and just the usual ones in Gweedore, Chamakish.
Because you have to have a good block of music, don't you? You know, there's no point learning 5 songs off here. You're doing a gig. You need firstly, you have to have the confidence and the gear, but you need to be able to sort of maybe adjust for the crowd or whatever.
You need the crowd pleasers.
And do you chuck in some of your own stuff? I know I know you like writing your own material as well. Do you try out some of your material in gigs, or do you play it by ear?
The odd time. This free Donegal song was going all right now for the past few gigs I was at there. So yeah, the odd time. But yeah, you have to kind of stick to the crowd pleasers as well.
Exactly. Now, what about social media? Do you use that to your advantage much?
I probably could be a lot better on the social media. I have the TikTok. There's a lot to keep up with. Hey, have the TikTok and the Instagram going. I could probably be a wee bit better on the Facebook with advertising and things, but I do have them.
Good
and they're
stuff.
all there.
Luke Gallagher, search Luke Gallagher.
Yeah, just search
Brilliant
Luke
stuff.
Gallagher.
Right, now, you've written a song about GEA, but by your own admission, you support GEA, right? But you aren't the number one fan, are you?
Well,
like, could we dig into some GEA history and I could quiz you?
Jeez,
Should I get
now,
Oisin
see-
Kelly and he can see if he can...
No, that would be handy. Unless he's coming in with a banjo.
Same man could land in with anything. So coming home to Donegal, should we hear it then?
We can do.
That guitar? It's smaller than a guitars I've seen in here before. What is the difference in terms of size? Is it just mobility or sound or
It's
what?
mobility. I like the wee, there's a crispy wee sound to it. It's
Yeah.
nice on the treble side of things. And this is my wee gig guitar head. I take it everywhere with me. It's a handy wee one.
Has it paid you back?
It has. it has.
All right, Luke Gallagher from Brinalec in Gweedore, a singer-songwriter and a busy electrician as well when he's not performing. He's written a song, We Are the Ulster Champions Now. Hey, why don't we just go and win it again? This is his song, Coming Home to Donegal.
Thank you very much, Greg. You've been blessed here. Now Murphy, he's been on the books. He's read the regs and he's wrote them once before. But behind the scenes and on the greens, he's playing them like they've never been played before. And so I heard from Pat the Goat when he made his way back home from Arranmore. Upon those empty barrels of beer, there was one he carved his name in up Donegal. Cause Armagh's still the favourite up on top position, and Boyle Sports has it out for 2% commission. And Jim sends his condolences out to one and all, cause it's coming home to Donegal. He's hung up the boots cause he heard there was a new kid on the block. No, as rumour has it, there was a guitar found in customs down in Knock. Cause Armagh's still the favourite up on top position, and Boyle Sports has it out for 2% commission. Jim sends his condolences out to one and all, cause it's coming home to Donegal. Oh, Jimmy got 'em all, Jimmy gonna beat 'em all. Oh, Jimmy got a plan, Jimmy gonna get the Sam. Oh, Jimmy got 'em all, Jimmy gonna beat 'em all. Oh, Jimmy got 'em all, bring 'em back to Donegal. Oh, Jimmy got 'em all, Jimmy gonna beat 'em all. Oh, Jimmy got a plan, Jimmy gonna get the Sam. Oh, Jimmy got 'em all, Jimmy gonna beat 'em all. Oh, Jimmy got 'em all, bring 'em back to Donegal. Cause Armagh's still still the favorite up on top position. The Boyle Sports has it out for 2% commission. Jim sends his condolences out to one and all, 'cause it's coming home to Donegal.
Luke Gallagher, well done. It's clever, actually. It's not your standard, not that there's any harm in that. It's not your standard song. It's a bit clever with the lyrics. Is that also, I hope it's not, is that also a Rory Gallagher diss track?
Rory Gallagher.
Which Rory's retired?
Your man from the original Jimmy's running matches.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Rory Gallagher. It's a diss track.
So here we go now.
So he's got to release one in. He's got to release one in Lanzarote about this upstart Luke from West Donegal. Is he?
Hopefully he hears that now.
Oh, he'll hear it. Don't worry about it. No, it is. It's good. It's cool. All right, brilliant stuff. It sounds great, Luke. And as I say, it's clever. You know what I mean?
I had to include him.
Of course it is. It's cool, but it's also got a bit of edge to it. Listen, thanks so much for calling up. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Any gigs coming up this weekend, or if you're a weekend off?
Any gigs coming up this weekend? Where am I this weekend? I think I'm in Farrah Ogs in the Kirch, in Gidor direction, and that's on tomorrow night, I think.
Brilliant.
And then
what song goes down the best on your gigs?
What song goes down the best? Hey, a lot of crowd pleasers. Hey, they like The Gambler, they like Travelling Soldier. That's always a wee safety net.
And what if you want to get them up dancing?
Dirty Old Town.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Do you have to move that thingamajig to play a couple of lines of that?
You do. I like to keep it in F sharp major, but yeah.
What would you play? Do you want? Give us a couple. Give us a verse and a chorus.
By the gasworks wall, I dreamed a dream. By the old canal, for I kissed my girl. By the factory wall, for it's a dirty old town. For it's a dirty old town. And you give it a wee bit of. For I met my love by the gasworks wall. I dreamed a dream by the old canal. For I kissed my girl by the gasworks wall. For it's a dirty old town. For it's a dirty old town.
Well done, Luke. Self-taught, my word. It sounds fantastic. People think there's 2 or 3 years. Well done. So we're not going to pay you for one song. So now we're not paying you for 1.5. Come here. Good luck with the gigs. Good luck with the gigs. Good luck with the track. You have it recorded, do you?
Yeah, it's recorded and you can get it on YouTube. Just throw in Luke Gallagher coming home to Donegal and all those things. Yeah.
Good stuff, Luke. All right, take care of yourself.
Thank you very much.
Well done and continued success.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Attention job seekers. Atlantic Technological University is looking for dynamic individuals to join our team of administrative professionals across our campuses in the west and northwest of Ireland. We're looking for individuals to form a panel of administrative staff to fill posts across the university. Enjoy competitive pay, a supportive work environment, and the opportunity to grow your career with us. Find out more at atu.ie/jobs.
Switching to SSE Airtricity doesn't just help create a greener tomorrow, it also helps you save on your energy costs. Switch today and you'll get 30% off your electricity and enjoy a €125 welcome credit. Don't miss out on this great deal for your home energy. Simply go to ssceairtricity.com. SSE Airtricity. This is Generation Green. EAB €1,387. Offer available to new domestic customers from May 1st, 2025. Rates valid from April 2nd, 2025. For T's and C's, tariffs, standing charges and exit fees, see ssceairtricity.com.
Ready to transform your smile? Discover the magic of Blue Poppy Dental in Letterkenny and Donegal Town. With implantologists, surgical and cosmetic dentists, orthodontists and an endodontist all under one roof, we've got all your dental needs covered. Starting your journey is easy. Call us on 074 91 20355 or book your appointment online anytime through our user-friendly patient portal at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dental and Orthodontics, where smiles shine brighter.
It's the Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware. Stores nationwide. Sale now on.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Get set for summer with all new arrivals dropping every week, from fashion to footwear and homeware to cosmetics. Discover more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Dry and sunny, temperatures low teens to early 20s. Well done to Luke, great lad. Sarah Divercourt says the same. Great song from Sarah, Thomas and the boys. He's really talented. And he came over to perform that for us, and I like it. And I like the way, not dig, there's nothing negative in it, but the way reference to Rory Gallagher, actually recognising that he sort of, I suppose in more recent times, blazed the trail in anthems. So it's clever. I like that cleverness of it. Now, something's happening, which I don't believe has happened before, and it seems really quite remarkable that it hasn't done, Marie Doherty, and that's a crossover between Corris and Emmerdale.
I know. So it's meant to be happening next year. I don't know how they're going to do it though, because at the start, whenever I seen it, I was like, "Oh my god, that's going to be
I'm sure it's going to be. Listen, I'll predict it's going to be a bus trip into the area, or key characters both end up in Butlins. That's the only way they can do it.
But there's an interactive element, so you can choose a character from each who cross over.
Yes.
So from what I've read, it seems to be that they say that it'll be largely self-contained. So I'm like, will it be like 2 episodes kind of intertwined together, and then there's one crossover between 2 characters? I think it's going to be great though. There's meant to be a ambitious stunt, so I'm trying to think. I'm like, there's no rail in Emmerdale.
No, I
is there?
really think that the soap should avoid stunts, because they always tend to be an absolute crap.
Oh, Emmerdale are so good at it.
No, they're brilliant.
Oh my god, Emmerdale when Emmerdale used to be called, again back in the day, Emmerdale Farm. Amazing. I loved it. I used to watch it all the time then. And it was basically very much kind of like, it was almost like the English version of Glenroe. You know, that kind of way, like it was set sort of rural. There was always, you know, most of them were farming background, and you had the pub, and the guy in the pub had the, what they used to call it, the chops. Is that what they used to call it?
Yeah.
He had the big hair, and anyways, and it was amazing, but it was kind of like that now, like an English version of Glenroe, kind of an idea. And then they decided that the ratings were going, kind of like late 80s, early 90s, they decided the ratings were getting a bit bad, so they wanted to shake it up a bit. So they decided that they were going to drop the farm and become Emmerdale. And in order to achieve this transformation of the town, they dropped a plane into the middle.
I remember
middle of
that.
the
I
middle.
remember it.
It was amazing. And I mean, I know, obviously, sadly, that's happened in the real world.
I know,
but that was
but we're
since.
talking
It
ducks.
hadn't happened in the real world prior to that, so it wasn't like a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was like, there was even
Been
things...
pre-Lockerbie and stuff, because it could have been impossible to do
it was,
after the
yes,
likes
it
of
was
that.
absolutely. It was all of that kind of thing. So it was just like the craziest thing in the
Emmerdale
world.
does it well. I think one of my
they do
favourite
great
soap
stunts.
stunts that I've ever seen. I don't even watch Emmerdale, but it comes up on my TikTok every 3 months, and I sit and watch the whole thing. It's the where there was a wedding, and she was on like a highway, the bride, and her groom had fallen out. But there was an accident down below, but then they could see their entire wedding guests, so the entire town coming, but it was on a bend. And it was like a 10-car pile-up of all of their guests.
Both of you are banging the desk, which I find remarkable, considering you're both radio people. I better squeeze Kevin in here. Hi, voice of Donegal. Maybe that could catch on. And the TV too, the TV duo. I tuned into the start of the Eurovision with Australia's Milkshake Man, an Ireland entry too, about a dog that met its demise in space. You can't get more Eurovision than that, but tape the rest and we'll tune in later. But for some reason, Skyboxes all over Ireland started shutting down before the vote. and I had to restart them as other people were watching normal telly. Quite true. As the last thing I saw was the host with the high wattage dress trying to eat fondue badly with a singer.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of erotic, I thought that was. But anyway, someone out there doesn't like a Eurovision. What's another year as we shed another tear?
I don't know what happened with the Eurovision because I had it taped as well and mine knocked off.
The Sky boxes were going down. It's a big outage from Sky.
Well, I know. Well, my Skybox didn't go off at all because I was watching something else while I was recording it. And what happened was it actually RTE had it set badly in the timing because it ended right when the first time, because the way they did it in the end was they put 3 pictures of the 3
That's
countries,
right, yes.
and then they told you one of those, but it didn't mean you were out. It just meant so they kept coming up. But obviously, after Ireland kind of came up twice,
And then
wasn't
the
you were
last
like
one, it wasn't
you
good,
just
yeah.
knew the chances were very slim then. But it cut out just the first halfway through the voting, and the first time Ireland came up. So I went over to the RTE player and I said, I'll just watch the end of it on the RTE player just to see. And actually, the RTE player cut out 2 minutes earlier.
It's a conspiracy.
So I was like, this is very
Whatever
bizarre.
they're pumping into
I'd
the
keep
skies
looking.
is definitely not helping the situation.
So it was very
Donna
good.
Marie, thank you so much for making your way from the newsroom. I'll let you get back. It's been lovely having you in. Fanula, I think you're away next Friday, but you're back the following
Yes,
Friday.
I've
Is
Holy
that right?
Communions
Okay.
next Friday.
Brilliant.
So.
Yes, indeed. Okay, listen, just to remind you, John Breslin's live around the Northwest from My Motors Drumkeen. It's all to be seen in Drumkeen for a special 252 open weekend. So that's from 12 o'clock. So some chat, some car chat, of course, some great guests and great music, as always. You know what you're getting with John. But for me, Greg Hughes, Fanula Rabbit, Donna Marie Doherty, have a fantastic weekend. We'll chat to you at the start of next week. And as I say, stay safe.